Today's show is brought to you by Lovable. Here we go.
Okay, we've finished the watch party. We're now set. We know our candidates. We know who's going to be playing, but okay, candidates is one thing. Now the real deal begins. We're rigging the studio. A pregnant Kaya is taking in the real take panel. We're putting on our, well, if not a suit, at least a game mode clothing. We're ready for what is going to be an amazing Title Tuesday.
Looks like Farouz is almost getting it done on the board. Should still be a draw. He's losing now suddenly.
He's throwing a thorn into the white side, holding on here for dear life. The nerves are kicking in.
He's playing with Ghost, afraid to commit.
Did he lose on time?
The clock is his worst enemy right now.
Oh, look at this. He's trapped his own king in the corner. The black rook is hit as well.
Whoa, is this a blunder?
Checkmate is coming.
Welcome here to the Take studio. We are ready for what is going to be Game Week 13. My name is Sverre Krogh Sundbø, stepping into the host role. I'm here with the Grandmaster with the silky voice. It's David Howell. Hey. And also with us today, Solveig Friberg, who is a content creator. She is a chess course author. And first of all, a wonderful guest. Thank you so much for being with us, Solveig.
Thank you for letting me come. I'm excited to be here.
It's been a good chess day, guys.
It really has. World Cup earlier, we had a bit of a watch party, and it was nice, it was chill. We got a new candidate, and now the real highlight of the day.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we are talking now Title Tuesday. I mean, we may not be finding new candidates, but we're going to highlight what is the finishing up of what is this first part of the Title Tuesday, David.
Exactly. It's been 13 weeks, a lot of fun along the way. We've seen Magnus, Hikaru, Hans Niemann, all of the top dogs at the chess elite bring their best. And here we are, the last week. It's sad, but it's also going to round off what's been a really fun time.
But we got to go back to what has been really thrilling World Cup. It's been a lot of surprises so far. It's been a lot of fun, but we still have the final decision to go. I mean, Wei Yi is playing a tiebreaker tomorrow against Yavike Sindarov. What do you expect from that?
Oh, it really feels like a 50-50 match. I've said Wei Yi was a dark horse since day one, so I'm going to stick with Wei Yi as we see him there. So calm, so cool, never shows any real emotion. He's playing a player even younger than him, though, 19-year-old Yavike Sindarov, who's
showing a lot of emotion.
Exactly. Who's looked nervous at times, but also looked really determined and courageous. And they'll fight it out in rapid chess tomorrow for the title.
But let's talk about these two guys. I mean, we have Yakubov, who we see here, who played against Yesipenko. It was a great start yesterday for Andrei Yesipenko. He won the first game with white. Today, he had to get a draw with black, and he did it in style.
Yeah, he did it in style. He only needed a draw. He ended up winning with a nice checkmating sequence at the end of their third place playoff. He's in the candidates. Nodebek Yakubov will have to try to do it in the next cycle in a couple of years' time. But Yesipenko, well deserved.
But how do you even do that? You blunder big in the semifinal against Wei Yi. Mm-hmm. You come into this extremely important match. I mean, I almost feel like the third place match is more important than the final due to the candidate spot. Yeah. And then you have to find your game again. How hard is that?
It's impossible, I would think, for mere mortals. That kind of sets him apart. The biggest day of his life, imagine, 23 years old. You dream of the candidates, dream of the World Championship. a blunder like that, and you have to pick yourself up. But he did it. He showed it's possible. Mentally, just so strong.
And he does also show that Russia is now into the candidates. They keep their streak going of having a Russian grandmaster fighting for this World Championship spot. Let's take a look and see who is in to this candidates tournament. We have, as the top scorer here, Fabiano Caruana, probably the favorite, or at least on paper the favorite for this this tournament. We do have another top scorer, which is by all means and purposes going to be Pragnananda.
Yeah, it would take a miracle on someone else's part for it not to be Pragnananda. We'll get confirmation of that come the end of 2025, but he's in the driver's seat. Anyone else would need to win 3 big tournaments by the end of the year. I just don't think it's possible. So Pragnananda will fill that question mark.
And there's also a question mark that maybe should have been next to Nishikori. We know how good it can be on a good day, but it's going to be interesting to see what he shows here. And another question mark is also probably Bluebaum.
Yeah, Bluebaum, probably the biggest underdog in this field, the lowest rated, at least according to the FIDE rating system. He's never been here before. He'll want it. He'll come hungry, determined, well prepared. But yeah, it just feels like all 8 are capable.
And then Wei Yi and Sindarov just coming in. We now have decided that it is Andrei Yesipenko. So sorry, Yakubov, you're no longer in the running for this spot. And then by rating, unless Magnus Carlsen decides to make a World Championship comeback and finish all the classical games needed, we're going to have Nakamura as well.
Exactly. Unless Magnus has planned 25 rated games by the end of December, then it's going to be Hikaru Nakamura.
But I do think, I mean, we're talking about who's qualified. Maybe it's just as interesting sometimes to look at who's not qualified for the candidates, because there's some big guns who really would have liked the spot, especially with this World Cup being played here, David.
Exactly. Gukesh, of course, is the man waiting at the end of the line for whoever gets there. But at the World Cup, the likes of Hans Niemann fell as early as round 2.
Are you surprised by that?
Yes, I thought he was maybe one of the big picks, especially because he's so good at quick chess. Tie breaks would have favored him. Nepo as well, 2-time World Championship challenger, falling very early. We see Hans behind.
And we kind of thought we were out Russians then, but another American here trying to qualify without success.
Yeah, Wesley So joining Hans Niemann and the disappointed players from the US, Shakurov Mamedyarov. Nishikori did fall in the World Cup, but he did make it through by the Grand Swiss. And Nodibek Abdusattorov, who would have thought that both Nodibeks would end up falling, and he would be the first of them all. Dubov, Prague, all eliminated from the World Cup.
At the same time, we do get Uzbeki representation, though, with Sindarov, but no Keimer. We had no Maxim MVL. I'll just do it easy there.
We know him too well.
Levon Aronian not in. A lot of big names. Who's your biggest surprise to not be? Do you think Levon will ever get another chance to qualify for candidates?
It's difficult. We see some of the kind of household names now of World Chess on our screens. Levon's 43. It's difficult. He's going to be 45 the next time the candidates comes around. Normally, players peak in maybe their mid to late 30s, you would say, at least historically. So it's going to be tough for Levon. I think the others, they're all young. Maybe MVL, Nepo, they'll feel that it's going to become harder and harder. But yeah, those in their early 20s, they'll come back. They'll be stronger next time around.
Well, I mean, what is next for these guys now that they haven't qualified? I'm saying that the other big highlight of next year, that's going to be the Esports World Cup. It's really taken us by storm with the initial World Cup last year, and next year, I think it's going to be even bigger.
Yeah, bring it on. There's the World Rapid and Blitz soon. There's the Esports World Cup soon. We've got Title Tuesday to warm up the players, to get them adjusted to the quick time formats. And yeah, the Esports World Cup last year, Magnus raising that trophy was one of the highlights of the summer.
Now it's going to be a road to this EWC that we are really following, that we're trying to take part of here. We have a chance to score points every week in the Title Tuesday. At the same time, there is going to be a qualification through the Speed Chess Championships with the top 3 qualifying for the EWC, and also the Global Championship where the top 3 qualifies. But the most secure way to find a spot in the EWC is, of course, by playing Title Tuesday.
Yeah, it's the one regular thing that players can put in their diaries. It's the one that they can train with, they can specialize in. They know it's all about the speed, all about feeling in the zone with the Blitz format. They also have the Speed Chess Championship, the Global Championship. Those are much more difficult. They need to get top 3. They really will need to perform on the day. But Title Tuesday, that's where it's at. And the players, they seem to love the routine.
Let's take a look at how the standings is here as we're finishing up this autumn split. This is the last tournament today of this split. And Magnus, he has already run away with his. However, it's a question here. If Alireza Firouzja wins this and Hikaru doesn't score points, that means that Alireza would overtake Hikaru to take this second spot in this split.
Exactly. The best of the rest. That's the title for whoever comes second. Magnus can't be caught. He is the winner of the autumn split.
Are you surprised?
I'm shocked. I'm shocked. Who would have thought it? Magnus Carlsen winning an event. But yeah, Hikaru Firouzja, they've had a bit of a tussle this whole season, this whole split, and it looks like Hikaru in the driver's seat for now.
And just to explain this on the road to EWC, I mean, it does seem on paper that it might be more difficult to qualify here due to all the places given out with the global tournament, with the speed chess tournament. But at the same time, this is where you really can gather the points to make it to this EWC. And yeah, it's interesting how the splits actually work here, because this was the first one out of 3 splits. We have one that now stretches from September through November. Then we're going to have a split in December through February, and then March until May. 13 title Tuesdays for each split. And then winner each Tuesday gets 10 points. But then there's also a winner of the actual splits, which we saw now that Magnus is taken away.
Yeah, what do you think Magnus is going to do with the $5,000? Life-changing money for him.
Somehow, I think that $5,000 may not be his main incentive. What do you think, Solveig? Do you think that is what is driving Magnus here?
Yeah, I definitely think he needs $5,000, yeah.
But it's interesting, though. At the same time, you see him compete week in and week out. And the ability to compete, to hone your game, that shouldn't be underestimated.
Exactly, and it is kind of a tried and trusted battleground. You face the best in the world, you get to try new openings out, you get to kind of keep your mind sharp. Not everyone can just kind of watch a chess game and learn and kind of hone themselves from that. So yeah, Magnus does it, and I think that's shown the new generation it's a good method. And yeah, over the 13 weeks, Magnus has deserved it, but so many other names should be fighting because he's already qualified, he's made it, so they're battling for those positions just behind him.
It's been a wonderful split, though. We've had a lot of big moments. Maybe take a look at some of the best moments from split 1.
Let's do it.
We've had 92% decisive games here. That is, for me, the brilliance of this format.
That's incredible. The average for decisive games at top super tournament elite level in classical chess is only around 30%, so 92% decisive. That's just incredible. 21,000 games as well. So much to feast upon for the chess fans out there. And for me, it's those. It's kind of the way games are won. So it's checkmates, resignations, but flagging a big proportion there. Flagging is a well-known way to win games.
23%, I reckon, out of the total games here of 21,000 or 21,000, 4,923. How do you like flagging? Do you think it's a good part of the game?
As a commentator, yes. As a player, if I'm on the wrong side of it, I don't know. I get a bit tilted. I get triggered easily, but it depends. Some players, they run out of time from a losing position. It's fair. Some players, they actively try and use it as a weapon, despite what's happening on the board. Then that's a bit more dubious, maybe.
but I mean, you're a bit of a chess purist, Solveig. You like the aesthetics of the game of chess.
I do.
Do you like players trying to utilize the time to take care of their opponent?
Well, I guess if you care about the points and you're fast, I guess there's nothing wrong with it. But yeah, I think maybe I like the beauty aspect a bit more than just trying to play fast and flag your opponent too.
Well, I must admit, I do fall into that trap of the competitive games, and I'm probably more of a. I like the standings, I like the table, I like the glory that comes with it here. How about you, David?
You're just saying you're a dirty flagger, basically.
If I had the skill, I think that is where I probably would have ended up. But it's a format that has really appealed, and I think it. I mean, my take from the players as well. Ever since the EWC, where they introduced this to a lot of the players, they love it.
Yeah, they really do, and it's kind of old school. Back in the 20th century, when everything was on these analog clocks, there was no way to add increments. So the players, they were used to that, and it happened in classical games. Now it's kind of a throwback, but also it's becoming more of a sport, it feels like. So yeah, they've embraced it, the top players. They don't accuse each other anymore about the flagging, and they just know it's a natural part of the game.
Well, we're also going to welcome viewers from TV2 Norway now. We're going to build up towards what is going to be the final Title Tuesday of split number 1, the first out of 3. So let's do this with taking a look of some of the highlights that we've been through here at the Title Tuesday.
Black's pieces are going to be tied down defending that pawn for the rest of the game, and we see a big blunder from Bortnik. It's a strategic mistake. Look at the white bishop now. Its prowess is so strong on the diagonal. Has Magnus mouse slipped, or is that a error?
He was trying to castle and he just...
Oh no. Magnus resigns, and all blunder from Hans Niemann. We do see rook takes knight now is available due to a pin.
Ikke vær redd for å snakke. That was some of the highlights from Split 1. David, what was your favorite moments?
I've had a couple of favorite moments. Actually, ironically, one of my favorite moments was the 1 week I wasn't here when in Gameweek 2, Alexander Bortnik visited us here at the Take studio in Oslo. He ended up playing Magnus. That went in Magnus's favor after a roller coaster game. And in the end, Magnus taking the win here, leapfrogged Bortnik, but he needed a helping hand from his former rival because in the last round, Bortnik ended up beating Alireza Firouzja, and Magnus, with a bit of a helping hand, was able to win that week. Here we see Magnus's 11 out of 11 in Game Week 11. That was the other highlight, I think one for the history books.
On the 11th, right?
On the 11th, yeah, of the 11th month.
Back to that Bortnik situation. They were in the Take studio, both Magnus and Bortnik. I mean, it feels like, do you remember those like WWF tag team competitions? It's like they were going after the opposition in a tag team type situation.
Exactly. Like first they were rivals. They were literally like 3 meters away from each other, like fighting to the death. Then suddenly Magnus, he had to tag in Bortnik to take down his rival, and they ended up first and second, and the big celebrations afterwards.
But it brings such a fun element when you actually have the players present and able to bring that online world to the live world, and actually, it's almost like they're competing against the rest of the world there.
Yeah, I guess. And what I also really like about bringing kind of the online world, I think it's so cool how it mixes kind of this old school chess and with the esport world. And for example, my little brother, he's like a huge fan of, for example, Nakamura, watches his streams all the time, and it gets us something to talk about that we didn't previously.
And we're going to have more to talk about today as well, because we're only, I'm looking now, close to 12 minutes from starting what is going to be the last game week of this split, game week 13. Let's take a little look here. We see that we have Nepo, who is on, Dura is here. We have Ariantari, who's in our studio. We have a candidate, Bluebaum, is on. I'm hoping, beyond hope, there's Hikaru, by the way, showing up. I'm hoping that we might have one of the guys who's playing in the World Cup tomorrow who wants to use this as a bit of a play-in towards that tiebreaker. Maybe we have a celebratory Yesipenko. Do you think any of those are going to show up?
Yeah, it's possible. I would love to see Yesipenko show up, although in an interview after winning the match today, he said he was going to celebrate by getting drunk. So we won't condemn him if he wants the night off. I think Sindarov, he's played a few times in Title Tuesday. He loves this event. It would make sense for him to play to get some practice against top-level opposition. It is evening in India. The games aren't until tomorrow afternoon for him, so it's possible, although unlikely maybe.
Vasher Lagrave just logging on here as well. Ariantari is going to be playing, as I said, from our studio. We're going to be talking to him. What do you think about his chances today?
I think he's got an outside chance. He's come top 3 before. I'm not sure if he's won the event, but yeah, I think he would need things to go in his favor. Maybe the likes of Hikaru not quite to be at their best, but Arian can beat anyone on his day. And nice to see Ginger GM just at the bottom there. My countryman, go England.
Who's also working for Take quite often and doing interviews for them. As we know, he's probably playing from Britain, do you think?
Yes.
We have Adrian who's playing here from Oslo. Let's take a look at the map to see where some of the players are actually sitting right now. Bortnik, who is in North America. We have Tang, Hikaru, Neiman. We have South America with Martinez and Terry. Firouzja, who's in France, probably together with MVL, we just saw. Anna Kramling, who is, well, she actually looks from that map like she was in Finland, but I do believe she is in Sweden. But we have a dream that some of these guys at the very right here, who's now obviously located at the World Cup, is going to show up.
Come on, Wei Yi. Do it. Join us. We also see Magnus not in Europe.
Magnus, I think his location is a little randomly placed because we know he's by a place with a pool. We know he's on vacation. We know he's getting ready for his next assignments, and we know he's going to play today. But right now he's being placed. I don't know if that is a little bit of guesswork or if someone has an idea of his location, but I do know that we're going to be following Magnus' games extra closely and see if it's possible to combine a good vacation with a good game of chess. What do you think?
Exactly. For the viewers at home, send in your best guess. Where is Magnus? Probably by the sea. Where's he going to be playing from? A hot tub?
Or more importantly, how is that going to affect his opening move? Because we have a poll. What shall Magnus Carlsen play? Can you tell us a little bit about these openings?
Yeah, so often, well, every week we give Magnus a choice. We give our viewers a choice as well. You have to vote for his first move when he has the white pieces. He can play this at any time from round 1 to round 11. This week, the viewers have been a bit kind. The Reti opening, it's just one of the best moves on the board. Solveig, we were talking beforehand about how the other moves would have been far less generous on Magnus.
Yeah, like f3 or knight h3 would maybe not be the best, but I guess he could possibly be able to win either way, don't you think?
Yeah, he would want to get those out of the way early in round 1
yeah.
against the lower rated opposition.
Let's take a little bit of a look again and see who's logged on now as we're 8.5 minutes away from starting. Hikaru, as we see, is on. He needs that couple of points just to ensure that he takes the second place here. Because we do have some people chasing from behind. I don't see Alireza here yet. Some people, we're still awaiting Magnus. Let's hope that he makes it to the start here. But any names that we may not expect that we should look out for on the top page here?
Yeah, I would say Vincent Keimer. It's surprising to see him quite far down because he's currently the world number 4 in the classical rating list. I guess this just means his blitz rating not as high as we might expect. Alexander Grishuk as well, one of the elder statesmen, I'm going to say, of elite chess. He's joined us. Sam Sevian has had a great run at the World Cup. Eventually fell just before the quarterfinals, but I would say he's maybe a bit of a dark horse for the event. But nice to see a lot of Polish players because Poland have been doing extremely well throughout Split 1 of Title Tuesday.
And as we see in about the middle of the page here, we have Adrian Tari, who's now located in our streaming booth here at the Take Studios. He's getting ready to play. And Adrian Tari, the player who will represent from Take Studios today.
My name is Arjan Tari. I'm 26 years old, Norwegian chess grandmaster. I've been around in the chess world for many years. So Magnus is 9 years older than me. So I started playing chess from the age of 5. Magnus was 14 at the time, already a strong grandmaster. So naturally, growing up, Magnus was always an idol for me. When I was growing up, he was already basically number 1 in the world. So it was kind of weird, growing up in small Norway, having the best player in the world. We got much closer, I would say, the last 3-4 years. We went to LA together, we went to Toronto together. Good friends with Eric and Aman Hambleton. I have quite a bit of experience as a second. I worked for Anish Giri, that was in 2021, 2022. And I also worked for Fabiana Caruana this year. It's less pressure than playing, that's what I like. It's also nice for my own chess to be able to work with two legends and two top players. It's you learn a lot to just get to discuss chess with them and know how they're thinking and how their approach is. It was definitely a great experience for me. Yeah, playing Title Tuesday. I mean, just try to play as good as possible. I hope to finish. Top 20 would be nice. Beat some strong GMs.
What do you expect from Arjan today? Top 20? Do you? I mean, is that where he should be aiming?
I think so. I think top 20 is realistic. I think if he's in form, he looks happy at the moment. We were hanging out earlier today. He looks in a good spirits. I'm going to stick my neck out and say he's going to come top 10. He's going to have a great week.
I like that because as you see here right now, top 20 is where he kind of should be based on that list. But look at the one on top. We have a guy showing up on vacation here, Magnus.
Yeah, leaving it till last minute as always. Sometimes he turns up with 30 seconds to spare. Nice to see him at least give us confirmation with 5 minutes to go.
For those who don't know Ariantari so well, what would you consider his main strengths when he's playing?
Yeah, he's quite a dynamic player. I think his instincts are quite pragmatic. Like he wants to keep it quite safe, quite risk-free if he can. But if you poke the bear, if you go at him, he'll fight you back and he'll fight harder. So yeah, I've had many blitz games with him over time. He's very, very naturally talented.
And he's been working a lot with Fabiano Caruana lately as well. And how does that help to actually work closely with the very top GMs?
Yeah, I guess it can't hurt, especially someone like Fabiano, who's so calculation-based, maybe something that Arian's maybe been lacking a bit more over his career. Arian doesn't play as much as he used to, but I mean, he must have learned from that. And yeah, it's just an honor. I think Arian's openings, they're another level now since working with Fabi.
I'm curious how that works out when it comes to the player ratings, because you have a couple of player ratings ready for us today as well.
That's right. I've chosen 3 players, just like every week, that I'm looking forward to watching this time around. And let's jump in with those player cards. We start with Hikaru. I've actually adjusted this card since the split began all those weeks ago, and I've given him 96 overall. That's because he's been on fire lately. Last week, he nearly got 11 out of 11. He was half a point shy there, nearly perfect. He won another Title Tuesday earlier in the split, and he's looking good. Next up, I've gone for Alireza Faruja. I hope he joins us. He's currently in 3rd place on the overall standings. He's gone down a bit in the ratings that I've given, just because he's been a bit more inconsistent, hasn't joined us for a few weeks, and his last 1 or 2 performances have been a bit up and down, but still great overall. And last but not least, of course, Arian at 82, can beat anyone on his day, still a very high score, super strong Grandmaster, but maybe not quite in the league of Hikaru.
If I play FIFA, I like an 82 card.
Exactly.
That's the ones who could really surprise you.
Exactly. Room for improvement, but all like steady baseline there.
I'm looking forward to seeing this. Let's kick off Game Week 3.
Wow.
What a shocking result here. He beats Hikaru Nakamura.
Oh, yeah, he's upset. You can see it.
Oh, that's heartbreak. Will we see one?
Oh, blunder. Bortnik is absolutely in form right now.
But Nepo has blundered. Hans Niemann catching him in a nasty trick. Hans Niemann flexing because he's landed a fork, hitting the queen, hitting the rook. That is game over. The black clock goes red. Suddenly Fabiano head and hands. He knows he's blundered. The black king. Oh, the white knight drops even, and there we go. And Fabiano wins with 1 piece remaining.
The bishop. Oh my god. Oh, bro.
Rook takes pawn. Rook takes pawn, wins the game because there's a knight fork.
A little bit too weak. A little bit too slow.
And all blunder from Hans Niemann. We do see Rook takes knight now is available due to a pin.
Oh, I'm looking forward to this. It's going to be exciting. We're looking at Magnus, Hikaru, Nepo, MVL, Duda, Arjun Erigaisi, Artemiev, Sevian, Zhong. This is going to be fun.
Yeah, all the top dogs joining last minute. I don't have any predictions. Magnus, Hikaru tends to be them, but so many players capable.
I got a question for actually the viewers today as well, because we have this survey. We want to help shape Title Tuesday being the best product that it actually can be. And if you scan this QR code with your phone, go in and help us take a survey. We're going to be giving away a chessboard with a Magnus Carlsen signature, a wooden board, to one of the people who take the time to fill out this survey. And it's also interesting in the sense that Title Tuesday is undergoing changes. I mean, we have a new format. We have more at stake than we did before, and it's really fun to hear the voices of the most important people, the audience, to see how they would like to shape this for the future. So please take the time to fill out this survey, and it can really help create an even better product.
Exactly. Everyone at home, this is your chance to have a say, to change the chess world for the better, to help us improve. And what a prize that is. Minimal effort. Survey won't take too long, but the prize, signed chessboard. Not everyone has one of those.
Let's take a little bit of time before we start the games here to look at how the format is right now with this Title Tuesday, because it's slightly different than what we were used to in the past. We've now played 12 weeks of this time control with 5+0. There is no added time per move, and that makes all the difference, David.
Exactly. The old Title Tuesday format used to have that 1 second increment. You used to see games going on forever and ever and ever. But here it's just a fight to the death. You know you need to get the job done on the board before it's too late. And 11 of those rounds with minimal breaks. It's fast, it's very furious.
And we would not have had the results we saw earlier from the stats. The 92% decided games, the 23% of the games are flagged. People run out on time. Some of those flags are games where the other player is massively up on the board. It's really exciting, I think.
It really is. We've seen cases of Fabiano Caruana trying to win on time despite the fact he was 2 rooks and a knight down. We've seen cases of that being the decisive factor in the top of the standings. So yeah, I think everyone loves this new format.
Let's get ready. Time is running down to 0. We are going to start our very first games. We see here that the first one showing up is Hikaru against Camacho. We have Blase against Magnus. MVL is playing Min. Stanojevic is playing Lazovic. A lot of good names here, but we can't see. We don't see that typical hurdle right away. But Blase, that's a first pull for Magnus here, a pull.
Exactly. And we start this game with the French defense. Magnus pushing a pawn on the edge of the board. That's a bit of a weird one. That's not one of the main lines. He's just trying to get his opponent out of any opening theory. But this is a very typical French defense pawn structure. Black has pawns on the light squares. White has pawns on the dark squares. And play tends to revolve around the center. Magnus trying to quickly trade off pieces here. He's going to be the favorite now as he pins that knight. But his opponent, very high rated on Chess.com, 2665. Not to be underestimated at all.
How much does that matter, that rating?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I always get a bit scared if my opponent's rating's higher than mine. Of course, not many people have a higher rating than Magnus. But it's definitely a sign that you should show your opponent respect, that they have beaten strong players. A candidate master, a CM, is a good title. I think that's a very high rating for a CM, so probably one of the more dangerous of the bunch.
And also a young player. He's born in 2008. He has a classical rating of 2172, so it's someone who may very well be on the rise.
Yeah, those youngsters, those teenagers, dangerous. Never underestimate them.
He's still using time in the beginning. We see Magnus already more than half a minute up on the time.
Yeah, up on time, but maybe playing a bit carelessly. This pawn push, really ambitious. He's aiming to push further down just to kick away the white knights. That has been prevented. And now Magnus's pawn structure, really, really weak. The black king is never going to go to this side of the board. Or at least if it does, then it probably will regret doing so. I think white's doing well here because here, Blase, he has my favorite pawn structure, the Connect 4. And super strong as we see him appear on the camera. Great opening for him. Magnus needs to be a bit creative to fight back.
How nervous would you be, Solveig, if you were playing a Title Tuesday and the first draw was against Magnus Carlsen?
I don't think I would be nervous because I would have nothing to lose.
That's a good sentiment.
It's like when you play a much stronger player, you can just relax because you know you're going to lose anyway. And if by any magic chance you're going to win, everyone's going to be super surprised.
And now it's not looking too good because now he's a minute behind on the clock, but he's also behind on the board here.
Yeah, his last few moves have been a bit weird, I'm going to say. I don't want to condemn them. There's nothing concretely wrong, but he's wasted so much time with his knight, which it started on this side of the board, went round and round and round, and he's moved that same piece 5 times already. So this early in the game, 5 times in 16 moves.
On a journey.
Yeah, it's on a bit of a journey. I'm not sure the knight's even very well placed here. It's not jumping forward anytime soon. And we see the first trade of pawns, some open lines appearing. What do we think?
Is it nice with like that open file towards the enemy king, or is that you don't care about that in this position?
Yeah, that's a perfect question because I would care a lot.
I would care too, but I'm not so good, so.
Well, I think you're being modest because I think Magnus will be a bit nervous about his king situation here, and that's why he tries to get the queens off. And it's normally a good idea with a weak king, like the black one here, to try to escape into the endgame. And I have a feeling his opponent should try and say no, although it's difficult to dodge the queen exchange without losing a pawn now in the center. Imagine winning. That is the...
Yeah, I like that comment from PSO4 here. Of course it's a dream, but the real dream is actually beating him.
Yeah, it's of course going to be a challenge, especially now that Magnus has caught the white king embarrassed in the center of the board. If there is a pawn exchange, then the black rook after a trade. We'll see that happen. I think that's a big blunder there. The black rook is now going to start coming in. We're going to see it land on the first rank. If he does somehow turn this around and win, it's going to be the best result of his life, that is for sure. But now this bishop is being hammered down on 2 different directions. It's pinned. This knight has now moved 7 times in the game. Keeps moving it, but it's not working. That pin is going to last forever. The white king's never going to feel safe. And Magnus moves his king out the way of the white queen. Looks like it's a bit of an innocent move, but he's getting ready to now blow open the center on the next move. Big time advantage as well. Magnus looking in control.
On the side, I was following our studio guest's game here, Arian Tari, who was in trouble against a very good Ukrainian player here, Ruslan Kurayan, but it seems as that game has stabilized now.
Mm-hmm. And I think we see that a lot in round 1. The favorites normally win, but sometimes it starts a bit shaky. They don't warm up immediately. And the underdogs are often kind of fully motivated and enjoying the chance to play the top GMs. But here it's just difficult for Magnus's opponent. Barely any moves. And oh, he castles. So far, you mentioned the open lines. Now it's the open lines towards the white king.
Yeah, it looks a bit naked over there.
Yeah, and wow, I think his opponent's face tells the whole story. Not happy at all.
Eating your sweater is not a good sign, right?
Yeah. Normally I suggest fruit or nuts or some energy bars.
Looks like it's tasty.
Yeah. Yes, that pawn in the center was tasty. He took that one off the board, but he drops a more important pawn. And oh, this white king, look at the diagonals.
Yeah.
Danger. It's unfortunately going to end in disaster. Nothing to do. If the white queen steps up to block, the black bishop retreats and wins the queen. Magnus takes the first game.
Wins this with black pieces against the young kid Blase Groth, and that's a start he's hoping for. That's what he's dreaming of, and he still had 3:29 left on the clock. But here's the game I was talking about. It's Arian who's ahead on the time here, but still Kurayan. Does he have any counterplay here?
Yeah, it looks like he's doing very well from the evaluation bar. If we do a quick count, black has an extra pawn, so Arian is a pawn to the good. He does look a bit nervous because black's king has some serious heat around it, but I think a big mistake from his opponent there is going to allow Arian to start kicking away the white queen, and the momentum will start to turn. There's also a pawn here that could be loose. Ooh, he takes the knight. That's even stronger. If the white knight goes and recaptures, the black queen pounces and takes a pawn with a check. The black queen's going to hit the king, but also hit the knight when it lands on that square. We just jumped in, and it's a game-changing blunder from Kurayan here.
The international master who started out well against Arian Tari, but is now in trouble with only 1 minute left on the clock. And it gets so stressful when you have no extra time.
Yeah, it does get stressful. Arian looks pretty at peace with the position, at least more so now than earlier. The opponent, I think, realizes he's blundered a piece. He's a whole piece down, and that's a very classy move. He's going to hit the queen, trade off the rooks, and Arian Tari gets the win in round 1.
Smile. He looks a little relieved there, Arian.
He's always had a cheeky
to get
smile.
Warmed up. I think my opponent actually, at this point, just had knight g4, which would end the game on the spot.
And I actually came in at that point that he's talking about here, and that's when I said he was in trouble because he saw it. Arian saw it himself. I didn't think he'd actually spotted it, but it was a blunder from Tari that he got away with, and that's always nice.
Yeah, it's always a big relief. It's always the kind of round or game that will make or break a tournament. If you lose it badly, tournament over already. It feels that way at least. But if you win it, turn it around, you feel on top of the world.
Grishuk looks like he may struggle a little bit, depending on the time situation on that board with his opening game.
Oh, Grishuk in time trouble. The words go hand in hand. And yeah.
Oh, look at Nepo.
Oh no, Nepo. What's happening there?
This is interesting, and they are pretty even on time as well against this international French master.
Yeah, but Nepo in a dead lost position here. The white king is feeling the heat. There's a pin here on the white knight as well. So pawn takes pawn would be met by the black queen swooping in due to a pin on the first rank. The white knight cannot move and take that queen. This looks like checkmate. This line is opening.
Obviously Nepo is seeing it because he's not moving, even though he's short in time. Well, here came a move.
Oh, wow, he blunders his rook in the corner. Oh, for Droin, that is a terrible blunder. He simply forgot his rook was attacked. That is really reminiscent of Esipenko's blunder just a couple of days ago against Wei Yi, and now Nepo is totally winning, rook versus bishop. If he just moved his rook out the way, or if he just played pawn takes pawn with a check, opening up the black queen, he would have won this game, the Frenchman. But now he's staring down a defeat. Still some chances, because the white king is so open on the dark squares. But that was miraculous from Nepo, and ooh, not accurate, that last move. But he should still be winning here, as long as he doesn't walk into any accidental checkmates.
Well, the time could play a factor here, though.
Oh, definitely getting nervous. He's walking with his king. And the black queen should go, yep, diagonal checks are so effective in these positions. You can keep checking. There's no way out for Nepo. Oh, he moves his king forward. The black queen gave the wrong check. The king is running. Under 10 seconds for Droin. That's a check. The white king keeps running. It's got to keep moving on the light squares. The rook and queen have to block, have to help it defend. 5 seconds, 6 seconds for black. Nepo still with so much time. He's pre-moving. He's barely losing a second with white. 2 seconds for black now. As long as there's no checkmates, white should have this. Nepo about to take it on time. What a shaky game there.
That is such a lucky escape for Jan Nepomniachtchi, but he gets away with it. The good players, you just said it, the good players tend to get away in the early rounds.
Exactly. Normally lower rated players, they see the same as the very strongest, but it takes them a little bit longer. The killer instinct may be a little bit less sharp. And Nepo, surviving, I think was the word there.
Can't be much time left with Kopczynski and Terry here, considering that how low on time that we just saw the others were. And there we see Terry also taking a favorite win, and that means that we're pretty much getting ready for round two. It's drama in this one here, Solveig.
Yeah, I think this also really, the Nepo game, it shows how fun this format can be with the time trouble and everything. It's very exciting.
It does bring a completely different element, and it really creates excitement. And look, now we have the next games ready already. We're getting ready to start. We see Radzimski against Hikaru, and Magnus is playing against Nagara.
Mm-hmm. So already some strong opponents. Nagara is a very well-known player, very experienced. Slightly lower down, we see Magzudlu, the Iranian Grandmaster, against Simon Williams, the Ginger GM. Some big-name clashes already. I'll say from the list of the favorites, I think it was only Bortnik who lost in round one. And everyone else made it through. And here we see Hikaru looking very slick, looking very dapper, I've got to say, in his Team Falcons jersey, aiming to win with black. We start with a kind of hybrid between the Dutch defense and the Nimzo Indian. That means a pawn on f5, and black's bishop coming out to trade off very early for a knight. And great start to the game for Hikaru Nakamura. Weak pawns to play against in the long term. Great square for his knight as well.
Do you not usually trade the bishop when you play Dutch?
I think it's kind of a matter of taste, I would say, with the Dutch. The Dutch, you can sometimes fianchetto the bishop on the long diagonal on g7, or you sometimes, in the classical Dutch, you put it just very modestly on e7. So, it kind of started life as almost a Nimzo, then it became a Dutch, and I never know what to call those openings. I just call them hybrids.
But I mean, here, Antoni Radzimski is 13 years old, but he has picked such a great picture here. I mean, I love this profile picture that he's picked, because that's humor for a 13-year-old, if you ask me.
What do you call that?
What animal is that?
Yeah. I mean, but he is real. I mean, you're talking about all these young kids coming up. I mean, this guy is a 23, 36 rated player. He's shooting up these days, and obviously won his first game here as well. He's an FM, and here we see him sitting.
Yeah, I mean, when I was 13, I would have loved the opportunity to play the world number 2, and that's why this tournament is so fantastic. Well, this last move is a strategic mistake. Hikaru is now going to take back towards the center. In general, if you can, you take towards the center because it opens up a line for the black rook. That is a very weak, isolated pawn as well at the edge of the board. Maybe it can be captured now. If not, then Hikaru, the type of move he might play, I was going to say push the pawn or move the knight. He wants to control this square, making sure that there's no way to ever kick away this bishop. So a big, big positional advantage now for Hikaru Nakamura. White has a really bad bishop of his own blocked in. And that's why he's putting pawns on light squares. This is what we call the stonewall structure, when the pawns all sit on light squares and stop white from breaking out.
Yeah, the young Pole looks like he has a last stand kind of position here.
Yeah, already. Not even material down, but it's a lot of suffering ahead. And Hikaru, I think he does this against the younger opponents. He tries to make it very slow, very strategic. He's saying, you will not attack my king. And eventually the youngsters struggle to keep up with the high accuracy decisions that he makes.
I think it's interesting what you mentioned there, because I think very often games are evaluated based on eval bars and the very objectively best moves. But that, to be dynamic like you're talking about here and playing your opponent, it's an undervalued aspect of chess.
Yeah, definitely. And I think you have to obtain a certain level of mastery before you can start tailoring your own game, changing your own style according to the opponent. But it's so effective. It's like a cheat code, knowing exactly what your opponent's weaknesses are so you can play into that. The last couple of moves, I'm very surprised Hikaru's put his queen on this side, because it's not really doing much there. Queen should be behind the rooks, just kind of supporting the charge, supporting the push. And white's bishop has suddenly got a lot better. What do we predict here? Could there be an upset? Hikaru did lose to a 15-year-old earlier in Title Tuesday this split. Could it be a 13-year-old who takes him down, an FM? That would be the biggest result of his career.
But isn't this also where you see a lot of the talents show what they're made of for the future as well? I mean, those who are able to stand in these kind of situations have the potential to become truly great.
Yeah, definitely. The first time I heard of Denis Lazovic was in Tidal Tuesday, and now he's kind of the king of speed chess. I remember playing Prague when he was like 12, 13 years old in tournaments like this. It's definitely the crucible where they train themselves. But this game, very slow, I'm going to say. Watch out for some knight forks, but nope, the black queen covers all the squares. Hikaru's got everything covered, but his opponent's trying to attack. You can tell the youngster focused on the black king. The knight and bishop lurking nearby. Bishop takes knight is a bit of a threat now. Hikaru moves the knight out the way.
What was your rating when you turned 13?
Oof. On Chess.com, it wasn't 28.52 like Radzimski's. I think I was just off the international master title, so I was also an FM at 13. But yeah, long way ahead, of course. And okay, Hikaru wins a pawn, but now his knight is kicked backwards. Oh, I don't know. It does feel like Hikaru's not quite finding the killer instinct. Our viewers as well telling us what they were up to when they were 13. I was playing Pokemon, if that helps give a clue to my age. What were you guys doing at the age of 13?
Riding horses.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a good life skill.
I was mostly playing football.
Fair
Day
enough.
in and day out.
Do you still ride horses?
No, I'm retired. So I thought I needed to find a game that I can bring into the elderly home. So that's why I started with chess, I guess.
But now you're riding chessable courses, though.
Yeah.
Talking of riding horses, by the way, that horse won a rook. But, horses for courses. Let's go back to the chessable courses. Hikaru now with a winning advantage.
You already have a chessable course out now already, sort of.
Yeah, that's right.
What is that about?
It's called Breaking 1000. So it's for chess novices and beginners who want to break 1000 online rating. So it's come for beginners.
I love that. I love that you have those kind of courses as well, because the majority of chess players will fall into that category.
Yeah, and I guess also a lot of the beginner content is often written for children. And also what I felt like when I started with chess, I'm kind of new, I started 2022. Then I sort of felt like all the chess material out there was written for someone who was more knowledgeable than me.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of the books and resources I didn't understand. So it can be a bit hard when you come in at an older age and don't know the game. So I guess it's a new market for the adult beginners, I guess, with the chess boom and everything.
Have you always had that kind of passion to share the knowledge, to share your experiences learning and kind of navigating the chess community, the chess improvement scene?
Well, I think in general I really love learning and knowledge sharing, because I do work in academia, and studied a bit pedagogics, and that's kind of my day job. So it was kind of natural for me to go into that when Chessable asked. So, and I think it's a lot of fun. I like to explain stuff.
I'll just mention that Magnus Carlsen won his game against Kaivalya Nagara.
Magnus taking a win against a very strong opponent. Hikaru looks like he's about to take the win as well. Checkmate in 1 is threatened if he gets one more move. We see mate in 7 pop up on the evaluation bar. It's hard to prevent that. The White King's going to have to walk forward, but that is not going to be a healthy journey. There's another diagonal check, and probably he can do this in a few ways. The rook steps back. Checkmate again threatened. King of the hill, we call it, when the White King tries to reach the center of the board, but it's not going to make it any further. This is the end, and Hikaru takes the win.
Very good. And I see that Arjan Tari is up against the German FM Henning Holinka. He has a good position. He's up on the clock as well. We've had Magnus winning. We've had Lazovic winning. We had Minle winning. Here we have Arjan.
And jumping in, we're in the endgame now, but a quick count shows that Arjan has an extra rook for a knight. Pawns are level, but he also has 3 very strong pawns that could start marching forward a bit later in the game. He's doing the right thing. Normally when you're at the exchange ahead, a rook for a minor piece, it's a good idea to trade off 1 set of rooks. The knights alone for black will not be able to cause any damage.
Just to let our viewers know, Holinka is not quite the age of his picture right now. He's turned 23, this German.
He's looking good. I want to know his training regime to look that young at the age of 23.
Should we listen to what Arjan has to say for a second?
Let's do it.
It's hopeless.
Hopeless.
It's not a good start, Arjan.
Hopeless was the key word. And his opponent is letting the clock run down. Arjan takes the win.
We get the win. This was a better game than the first game, at least.
And that summarizes it. Arjan Tari is saying it's a better game than what was the first one, and he takes then a convincing win. He starts with 2 out of 2. We have Hikaru with 2 out of 2. We have Magnus with 2 out of 2. Let's take a look at our standings here. We also, I mean, now we're starting to see some good names who are pulling quite a bit ahead. I mean, we think about this. We only see the top players usually. We think about 2 out of 2 being, well, it's normal for the top players, but already we've narrowed the field so much of those with a perfect score. So this is when we can get the more exciting matchups for the round 3.
Exactly. It's a bit like those knockout tournaments, the World Cup, where after every round the field halves, and it's the same on 100%. Every round it's like half, then half, then half, and after a while it's only 3 or 4 names. But for now, most of the favourites doing the job. I'm gutted. Simon Williams, Ginger GM losing. But Magzulu is very strong. I think the highest rated player to lose on this page was Jeffrey Zhong, and that's all the way down near the bottom there, just down there somewhere.
But Sam Sevian also had to give up half a point here.
Oh yeah, that's true. Half a point might not sound.
Oh, and look at Kamer. Kamer losing to Matthias. This is actually the biggest 3 results. Is actually at the very bottom of the page here.
And that's a fellow German as well. The German #1, Vincent Keimer, going down to a German IM, Matthias Dan. That is a big shock. Yeah, Keimer hasn't quite been himself. He's played a lot of Tidal Tuesdays, but very rarely troubled the top few.
But here, on top of the list right now, we have Brezina, Dauren, and Lucas, but of course, everyone with 2 out of 2. We have now Hikaru, who's going to be playing against Rachmanov, and Magnus against Enriquez.
And we start with Magnus, who shows us where he's playing from. Looks indoors, not by the pool. That's a bit disappointing. But let's go. He's playing against a super strong Grandmaster. Almost 3,000 rating at Blitz, and it's the Sicilian Najdorf. Magnus not messing around. No more fun troll openings here. It's mainline stuff. This is what he plays when he really, really wants to win and really respects the opponent, Magnus Carlsen. This is going to be a very fun game. Enriquez, he's been one of the top players in his country for years already now.
I think it's like pretty much always exciting to follow the Sicilian games.
Is that an opening you play yourself?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I do.
With white, with black, with both?
With black, yeah. But I don't, there's so much theory. I don't really know the theories. I just play c5 and hope for the best. But
that's the best way.
Yeah. And with white, I like to do the f4 Grand Prix kind of stuff.
Okay, nice. Could still see some f4 action a bit later, but that means for now, I guess you're looking at Magnus' setup and trying to figure out quite what he's doing with that knight. I don't normally see that in the Sicilian, the knight going back. I guess he wants to come forward to the center where he's going to look at some nice squares, or go the other way where he's also looking at some outposts. Magnus, he's trying to make it a slow maneuvering game, which isn't always the way in the Sicilian. Do you find your Sicilian experience, it's normally quite chaotic, the positions?
Yeah, I feel like it's usually win or lose. I don't rarely get a lot of draws in the Sicilian. So either I checkmate or I get murdered, usually.
Either way, it's fun. And
yeah, it's much more fun, I think.
It's dramatic either way.
Yeah.
And Magnus taking a sip of his drink. And there we go. He trades off a set of pieces. The eval bar usually is on white side in these types of positions. That's because white has the furthest advanced pawn. Computers really like the space that this pawn gives. Kind of cuts the board in half. But ultimately, black doesn't have too many weaknesses. And if he can solve the question of what to do with this knight, maybe he doesn't want it to be captured, ruining the black pawn structure. Or he does allow it. Big risk there from Magnus. I was going to say, if you move that knight, you're probably healthy. You're probably fine. But it does feel like he's trying to provoke the opponent now.
But it was taking long. I mean, he did have to make a move there as well and just go into something.
Yeah, and I thought a really easy natural move would be to move the knight away, attack the queen, keep it on a safe square. I know it's on the edge of the board, but now the big question is...
You're worried about capturing the knight and recapturing with the pawn there, opening so you can't castle, is that it? Or is it doubling the pawns, or what is it?
I think it's more about the castling, like you say. Like double pawns maybe are weak, but for now it's okay. But the main thing is that black will not be able to castle through the check.
Yep.
If the pawn disappears from the f-file.
Now we can also see Enrique's Viagra. Mm-hmm. I mean, it does go to show as well that now he's playing against a classically 2600 plus rated player. This is now he's facing a true GM.
Exactly. Do you think it's chilly in that room because he was shaking his chair?
Well, it's
Chile.
in Chile.
It's in Chile. And okay, he doesn't play the best move, but this is a big moment. He's just thrown away a pawn. And he's invited Magnus to capture here. I wanted to play this move even without it capturing a pawn, hitting the white queen, of course, which just moved. This is a pure pawn sacrifice, and maybe the idea is to clear the path for white to open more lines against the black king. He's going for checkmate against Magnus, and if Magnus has one weakness, he doesn't have many, but if he does have one, then it is sometimes allowing the opponent to attack him. Full frontal attack here. He's got to push this pawn.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Is that because he overvalues his own defensive prowess, or?
Yeah, I think Magnus believes he can defend any position. Yeah. So often he'll take a pawn. Ooh, it wasn't the best move. I thought it was the most natural one. I don't blame him at all for this, but maybe allowing the black knight back wasn't the best after all. But yeah, Magnus, I think he takes pawns, he takes positional advantages and just believes he can survive. And usually he does, but occasionally a good attacker can get him. Queen takes pawn now would be met by the black bishop running out the way and taking white's pawn on this side of the board. So we could see a trade, or we could see the white queen move. He needs to keep the queens on the board. That's the main thing, though, if he wants to attack Magnus and win this game.
In our streaming studio, we have Arjen Tar, who's now playing against Piotr Brezina from also Poland. I mean, Poland students, they have so many players now, it's unbelievable.
Mm-hmm. They're all young and they're all so strong and quick and dangerous. We have country standings here at Title Tuesday as well, and Poland are always in the top 5. They're super strong, normally led by Duda. And the top 5 scorers of each country get their points counted. Magnus is currently a pawn up. He has 3 pawns versus 0 on the right half of the board. So a queen exchange and those pawns will promote. They'll become really strong later. But he's trying to bully his opponent with the queen exchange.
And just as importantly, he's more than a minute ahead on the clock.
Yeah. That tends to be the story with Magnus. Same with Hikaru.
Yeah.
No matter how bad their position, they've always got a minute extra. And that gives them a lot of leeway.
Right now, Hikaru is... he has a minus 1.2 eval, but he's still more than a minute up.
Exactly. Practical, confident. That's the top players. And Magnus is very confident now. He just needs to find the right move. He's hitting this rook, but can't take it because his queen is attacked. So what to do? Maybe he should jump his queen out the way, offer a queen trade, force the queens off the board, because otherwise the white rook would drop, and that might be the clincher. Enrique's leaned back on the camera. That is a bit of a giveaway sign that he wasn't happy there. Looks like Magnus is going to get to his beloved endgames with an extra pawn. At least. 1 minute. He's just been too slow. Enrique's Villagra here. what to do. Would you rather die on your sword, fighting with queens on the board, or in a slow endgame? That's the question I think he was facing.
Enriquez looks like he's choosing neither.
Yeah.
He's just sitting back and saying,
I had him, but he was slightly better. He was never more. Now Magnus is just happily trading off pieces.
Looks quite relaxed here, Magnus.
Yep. And he's done the hard work. And there we go. 2 minutes up on the clock. Extra material on the board. He takes the win. And we now have a battle for best glasses of the split.
Best glasses, and probably the bedroom that I think we're the most familiar with in the chess scene, because I feel like I know this trophy set from Lazovic so well after seeing him from he was 13 years old playing all the way up with all these types of tournaments.
Exactly. Every year there's more trophies, more medals for Denis Lazovic. In the meantime...
But look at these wonderful glasses, though. I mean, this guy must have known he was going to be on TV.
I love them. That's style points right there.
You said you love the aesthetics as well. Like, what do you think of the painting behind him? That looks classy.
You know, the composition is just flawless. It's a painting, it's the glasses, it's the tapestry, it's everything. It's just all coming together. Love the setup.
Now he just needs the attack to come together. This is so scary for Denis Lazovic. Rook staring down his king, rook staring down the line nearby, and not just that, but the queen and bishop battery.
The battery, yeah.
Oh dear. The black knight is defending that square, so there's no checkmates. And apparently a mistake, but that's a very natural move. Setting up a sacrifice supported by the queen now. That could be game ending. Denis Lazovic, if you showed me this position without the evaluation bar, I would say he's in trouble, but this is the key move. Jumping forward, that's a fork, hitting the queen and the rook. And when the bishop captures, oh, there we go, it's a trade. And the white bishop that was on this beautiful diagonal, the fact that it's disappeared means the attack will likely run out of steam now. The bishop, oh, so safe. Denis Lazovic, talking of great defenders, he is a great, great player.
Look at the frustration here from Lord Kipanitsa. It's he knew that he had his chance and he knew he slipped away.
That was great pronunciation, by the way, of his name. I was not brave enough to try. You nailed it.
It's also a bit annoying, like when you maybe have the chance to sacrifice your rook and you don't get it. That's a bit of a bummer.
Yeah, it's like you smell glory, you smell victory, and then it drifts away. And the eval bar on black side, because he is a pawn up, Denis Lazovic. Although now white's creating a very strong pawn. Okay, blockaded, and that could be the beginning of the end.
You can see also the chats are commenting the glasses.
Exactly. Crazy in a good way, I hope.
It's been a really swinging game with Hikaru and his opponent on table one. He plays against Alexander Rachmanov, and it's been flying everywhere. I think the main difference there is that it's 22nd in favor of Nakamura in that game.
Yeah, these top players, it's always 10 seconds, 20 seconds up in their pocket, saving it for later. Denis Lazovic is soon going to win this game, partly because he's the one on the attack now, partly because he's got the extra pawn.
Can we check this game out now, or is it still exciting?
Oh, it's going to be. Oh, I think it's exciting on the clock. On the board, less so.
Let's keep it here. This is. I mean, the glasses deserve to have a proper finish.
The moment in the sun, although Hikaru is in big danger. Or do we jump or not? He is. Oh, he's. I was going to say back in the game with white, but not anymore. 2 pawns down.
Hikaru won, by the way. He won eventually on a checkmate.
Wow, Hikaru making magic happen. Big trouble. That's what the favorites do.
Yeah.
They dig deep. They find a way. This is a dead drawn endgame, by the way. There's nothing black can do to break through. The white king is an easy blockader of the black pawn. White just needs to wait with his rook on the back rank. Wait. And it's a draw, but no time. Denis Lazovic's going to try and flag here. He's got 2 extra seconds on the clock.
He will flag.
He's going to win on time.
Yeah, there's no way he can manage enough moves here.
1 second. Can he hold on? No, a couple of checks, and there we go. Denis Lazovic takes the win.
And it's part of the game. This is how this actually works, and utter frustration here.
Yeah, that was
we heard a sigh
large sigh.
from.
How's your Georgian?
Unfortunately, not as strong as it should be. However, I do think we can do an intuitive translation of. Shoot, darn it.
Yeah, so near yet so far. 2.5 seconds. That was the difference in that game. We
see that Ariantari, he won his game as well. And I know that was quite the at least eval for a long time, but as is so important in this format, he was ahead on the clock the whole time through. Reason why we're following Ariantari more closely here is because he's in our streaming studio today. He's actually occupying Magnus's office.
That's right. He's in the famous 2882 room, Ariantari, named in honor of Magnus's peak rating.
Ooh, look at this matchup. It's all American.
Oh, all American. And Oparin is the chief second. He actually works with Ariantari a lot, but he's the chief second of Fabiano Caruana. So a bit of a kind of precursor, a bit of a taste in advance of the candidates tournament, maybe, on the line. And we start with the English opening. White's pawn came forward by transposition on the second move. And this is actually the line that Ariantari used against me when he had black to knock me out of the 2017 World Cup. So I have trauma memories here. But the black pawn coming to step down the board, hitting this knight. This is the key idea. And Hikaru, he looks confused here.
Yeah, I saw it. He did the thing with his eyes.
Yeah, what's he looking at? This is a bit of an odd move. When I played Ariane back in 2017, I was pushing my pawn just one square, keeping the pawn safe. And when the knight gets hit, the knight returns, and that's safe. But here, if the knight retreats, the pawn in the center will drop off the board. So Hikaru Nakamura, he's wondering, en passant or no en passant? It's not always forced, despite what people believe. Will he take that pawn, or will he push on and attack the knight? Okay, he's down on time for the first time this tournament so far.
Yeah, he's looking like he's wondering about this move.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I think he should have pushed his pawn. He gives a check instead. He was perhaps worried that the white pawn would step up and hit the black queen. But maybe that will happen now. So there we go. So the black queen isn't able to capture a pawn in the center. Do you ever watch any of Hikaru's streams, Solveig?
I don't watch his streams so often, but I have analyzed a couple of his games.
Okay.
He has a really cool King's Indian game that I analyzed recently, and also another one where I think he offered his queen six times in a row or something. Have you seen that one?
I think I know the game you mean.
Yeah.
Very cool.
That's
stuff.
a really cool one. That made me a Hikaru fan.
Yeah. That's the thing with Hikaru. He can attack, like sack all his pieces and win, but he can also just slowly grind down his opponents in the endgame. And talking of the endgame, the queens are off on this board. White has an extra pawn for now, but it probably will not survive till the end of this game. This pawn is very far advanced distance from the rest of its army. That should be more of a weakness than a strength.
Another top game being played right now is the man we just saw, Denis Lazovic, who's playing against our homeboy today, Ariantari.
Oh, big game. Maybe we'll join that one a bit later. Let's see how Ariane can do against one of the hottest speed players right now, Denis Lazovic.
That is Lazovic playing with the white pieces there against Ariane, and so far it's Ariane evening out the game a little bit after Lazovic having a very strong start.
Mm-hmm. Lazovic, a big opening expert, very, very positional player. He's qualified, of course, for the Speed Chess Championship finals in London in February alongside Magnus, Hikaru, and Alireza Faruja. Not bad at all.
That's such a fun tournament as well.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. I'm hoping to visit in London, my hometown. But in the meantime, Hikaru looks confident. I'm not sure I would be as confident. He's still a pawn down, but he's creating threats. There was a threat to jump in with the black knight. That's why the white rook stepped up. And now how will Hikaru increase the pressure? If he's too slow, then white's pawn majority will start running forward. And that will not be good news, so Hikaru needs to be quick.
You can guess the nationality of Magnus's opponent?
Poland?
Yeah, that is correct. He's Polish. He's playing against Kasper Jostowski.
Okay, one of the highest scorers for Poland every week. That's not going to be easy at all for Magnus. Yeah, Poland. We've asked this before, but anyone watching this, go pester your favorite players from your country. Get them playing. We have country standings. We'll talk more about that in future. But yeah, I'm always trying to get the top English players playing, but they never bite. They never jump in. Poland has everyone.
It's actually a lot of Norwegians playing today as well. I noticed Adrian, I noticed Magnus. I see this Håvard Haug, who's now playing against Niemann. He's 3-for-3 to begin as well. It's I saw Axel, the young Stavanger kid who's playing, and it was 2-for-2. No, it's actually either 3-for-3 or 2.5. Let's see. He is 2.5 playing against Sam Sevian.
Wow.
So that's a better Norwegian result than we're used to on the broad scale.
Yeah, come on, Norway. Let's go. And Hikaru's calculating something. Takes. And
And the clock is evening out.
oh, huge blunder. Huge blunder. Hikaru's going to see this. This is easy stuff. This is a fork.
Oh, yeah.
Stepping forward with the pawn. And if that pawn does step forward, the white rook wants to take it. The pawn attacking, of course, the other rook and the knight. If the rook does take, then it's another fork. Hikaru misses it.
King E8, D7.
Is there again?
King E7, C7.
He's not seen it. He's not seen it. Hikaru Nakamura. He's still massively better due to this check.
I'm trusting my instinct that this works. Takes, BC6, King E8.
It was a little bit of a delay there, but it was nice to just hear what he was talking about for a second. Shall we put him on for a little bit longer here?
Let's do it.
One. King D1, 96, Rook A4. 4, Rook.
That does not sound like someone who sees everything right now.
No. He feels it. He mentioned the word instinct. That's the top players. But then to work it out, to calculate. And I think he's stressed about the clock situation because...
Which he should be.
He should be, definitely. Aparin knows that Hikaru's biggest strength is speed. So, yeah, he needs to be accurate. And he was talking about this move. We heard him say King D1. Now we know why. The white king had to run away to the square to not get checked by the black knight. But here we go. Infiltration. The rook gets in. Second rank snacks on the cards here. The bishop and pawn hit. And Hikaru still in the driver's seat. He missed an immediate win and missed... Just very strange to see Hikaru miss an immediate knockout blow.
You think that's going to annoy him when he sees it later?
Oh, that's true. In the game review, right? When we all, chess players, we look afterwards and we see we've made 3 blunders in a game and we check back and, oh, heartbreaking.
Speaking of knockout blows, it was quite a knockout blow for Magnus Carlsen against Drastovsky. He won easily, early and handily.
Wow, Magnus looks like he's in top form. Holiday Magnus, enjoying life. And in the meantime, this rook in the center is hit. It either needs to swing across to attack the black bishop, or it needs to capture a pawn on the edge of the board. There are some checks against the white king. That's what he's calculating now. Aparin burning his time advantage. Looking at the games afterwards, Solveig, is that something you do immediately afterwards? Do you find it a good thing to learn about, or?
Well, when I play seriously to actually try to get some serious games, I of course do that. I analyze it myself and I try to do it without the computer first, and then try to figure out where I went wrong, and then preferably with a stronger player, but if not, the computer.
Yeah, that's
but if I play like Blitz while watching TV, then I don't always analyze.
Sometimes it's better not to not see the blunders immediately. And in the meantime, yeah, we see an exchange. Hikaru, for a moment, he kind of had his head on his hands. He was like, what have I missed? He might have realized he was totally winning earlier. But here we go, still winning. He's a pawn up.
Massively better, according to the evil bar.
Does it feel massively better?
I think now, after this last move, that might be the clincher. He defends his powerful pawn on the edge of the board. That keeps the white rook paralyzed. The white rook is stuck, not doing anything now. It's going to be left as a pure defender, very passive, and now he's going to win a second pawn. So 2-pawn advantage, I think, at this level. Should be winning, at least on the board.
And the clock is evening out.
Yes, and big threat to actually take this knight and then to land a knight check with a fork. So the knight has to jump out the way. That's a pin. I think he's just going to take this pawn in the near future. Watch out, though. More checks. And that's the final blunder from Aparin. He loses his knight from this check, and Hikaru takes the win. But it wasn't always smooth.
Doesn't need smooth right now, does he? Well, I mean, look at this ending. This is going to be fun. 30 seconds against 36. It has been Lazovic pushing here, but this is the first time in the game where Arjan is ahead on the clock.
Wow, that is so important. And we see the position repeat itself. Now Denis Lazovic grabs a pawn, but watch out. Oh, this is so tempting to push this pawn for Arjan. Not the best way to proceed, apparently, because this pawn might just drop. He has a good position, Denis Lazovic, but he doesn't have enough time now. Arjan should keep the queens on the board. Keep pieces on. It's easier to flag. The fewer pieces, the more the opponent can pre-move. And look at Lazovic desperately trying to get the queens off, but now the black queen can deliver a check. maybe should actually check from the center of the board. Denis Lazovic, 13 seconds, could have repeated the position, playing for a win. Arian, he's got a chance here. Wow, he's not even that much worse. He's a pawn down, but he can keep this game going for so much longer. Queen's off now. 8 seconds for Lazovic. What do we think? Is he going to win? 6 seconds, 7 seconds, is it enough? He's so good at pre-moving. Arian needs to keep the rooks on the board. Don't get checkmated. Bring the rook behind, give some checks, and oh, it's a checkmate for white on the top of the board, and Arian loses his rook, and he's getting mated. There we go, Lazovic.
It's just not too slow. It's very... Here I had 5 more, so I should have been able to do something.
Oh, the frustration here for Adrian, and which is understandable. I mean, this was a brilliant example of why Lazovic is such an excellent speed player.
Yeah, Lazovic, he's one of the best bullet players out there. Like when it's just 1 minute chess, he's super speedy. And yeah, tough round for the Norwegians. We see Håvard Haug as well, losing to Hans Niemann. But yeah, for Arian, if he kept the queens on, I think he would have won that game on time.
Yeah.
But once the queens came off, it was so easy for the opponent to move, predict everything. And it was so close to the mate, nothing he could have done at the end.
Well, we see 14 players who's now at 4 out of 4 possible wins. Players are on break. They get their first break of the day. And I think it's time for us to look at some highlights to have an action replay by Lovable.
We jump into a game from Magnus that we saw earlier against one of the top grandmasters from Chile. And we started with a Sicilian Najdorf. Magnus maybe in a bit of trouble early on, but here he grabbed a pawn, he attacked the white queen, and unfortunately after this mistake from Henriquez Villagra, there was no way home. Magnus bringing the knight back, winning some pawns, now centralizing his queen first of all, later using that queen and knight to do the damage, took the win with black. He's looked on fire, Magnus Carlsen, and the other replay has to be this one with the best glasses of the round.
Yeah, I mean, those glasses itself is worthy here, but that was today's action replay by our presenting partner, Lovable. And looking at the standings here right now, we're seeing Hikaru, we're seeing Magnus. That is not surprising. Lazovic, Niemann, Sarana. Which name stands out the most for you?
Ooh, I'm going to say there's a couple of players I'm not so familiar with. Barat, down in 12th place. Pranesh is a strong grandmaster. He's up there quite a lot. But just because we've been talking about Poland a lot, Pakleza.
Yeah.
I've seen his name around. I've played him actually a bit online, but I think one of the lowest rated from the top 14 here.
But isn't this some of the beauty? I say to you, Solveig, isn't some of the beauty of playing these kind of formats open for all title players? That if you feel like you're underrated, if you feel like you have something to do against the top GMs of the world, this is your arena to shine. You can step in at any Tuesday and actually shine against them.
Yeah, and I think touching on what David said earlier as well, you would have loved to play world number 2 when you were 13. Mm-hmm. So I think that must be really exciting, maybe especially for the younger ones.
Yeah. You're mentioning Poland. Mm-hmm. That brought me onto the topic that we do have the country standing, right? And look right now, actually, Poland, as you said, in 3rd again. I'm very surprised to see Norway at 15.5. That is very high for them. Obviously, it does help to have a good amount of players here.
Yeah. And this is the kind of counting the scores of the top 5 players of each country. So it does kind of even the playing field. If you get more representatives, it's more likely the country will do well. India, of course, have a lot of players in the field, so do USA. But yeah, the likes of Poland, Norway, Iran always do very, very well. They've got a lot of young players. Vietnam, Turkey, they have some wonder kids as well. Really showing that, yeah, it's becoming ever more worldwide, our game.
Yeah, and Iran could have had more as well. I mean, if you add players like Firuzha, like Ariantari, like those with Iranian background, it's such a strong chess nation as a whole.
Exactly, and they've still got some beasts like Magzulu, like Amin Tabatabai, some very strong grandmasters, Iran. And the best name in chess, Sina Move Ahead.
But actually, Param was not on the top list now, so it's interesting to see if Maksudlu could join that fight. But listen, you guys have the chance to help shape the future of chess if you take this survey. Someone who completes this survey will receive a wooden chessboard signed by Magnus Carlsen. And what we're asking is actually for you to scan this QR code, complete this survey, for a chance to really create the product that you want to see, the product that you wish to see. And hopefully you guys could help, because this is one of those surveys that we're not asking for any kind of commercial interest or anything like that. Simply, we want to know how the fans think about Title Tuesday and how this product can become even better. And I feel like the steps that are being made by week now, David, it's becoming a really, really, really fun product.
Exactly. We kind of jumped in at the deep end back in game week 1 of the autumn split. We were trying to feel our way through. Of course, we changed the format so much. We didn't know how the players would react. It's been a real learning process, and I'm just hoping the fans have enjoyed week by week, making these small changes, small tweaks here and there.
Yeah.
And of course, that chessboard prize. Go on, everyone. You know you want to. You know you want to.
It's a pretty good price. I mean, I would love myself to have a Magnus Carlsen board sitting in my living room.
You have him on speed dial, Sven. I know you could call him up and get that sorted.
I mean, how does this? If you're more of a hobby player, I mean, you've written a course for 1,000 rated players or players wanting to become 1,000 rated players.
Yeah.
How would you go about trying to teach new players to play the speed games? Do they approach that differently than the classical games, or is there different things that you should practice on when you're a lower rated player trying to become better?
I think this is kind of, I don't think everyone agrees on this, but the advice that I received as a beginner was to play longer format games.
Yeah.
So I played, I think, 8 classical tournaments the first year I started to play chess. And that's good because you get some time to actually think about your moves and get better quality on your games and probably don't hang your pieces all the time. And I think also like speed chess, I don't know if you agree, David, but maybe it builds a bit on pattern recognition and things that you don't have built yet as a beginner. But in general, if you like really want to play speed chess as a beginner, I think maybe just practice it.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know what you think, David.
Yeah, I think practice is the way these days. And in the past, it used to take years before you could play 500 games against very strong opposition and process all those 500 different patterns. Now you can do it within a few months, and that's why we see younger and younger players kind of make it far. And of course, it depends on time. And I liked what you said earlier. You want to analyze with a human as well.
Yeah.
With a friend, with a coach, a mentor,
yeah.
Just a buddy at the club. And I think just discussing those ideas helps the improvement process so much.
Yeah, and I think also the engine moves don't always make sense either.
Exactly.
Here we see yet another young, great Indian player, a strong GM, another lettered player, Pranesh M. It's interesting to see what he can do against Magnus here with the white pieces.
Exactly. It's like Gukesh D. And
exactly.
Yeah, I know he has another name, but it's a long one, and I think he prefers to shorten it as well. Pranesh is a very aggressive player. Of course, we can say that about a lot of young grandmasters. They want to attack, they want to play on the front foot, but Pranesh is, I think, he's one at the very extreme. It's all about checkmate for him. So I think the fact that this is a slower position now is good for Magnus Carlsen.
Or is it intentional by Magnus Carlsen?
It's definitely intentional by Magnus. Pranesh did choose the opening, though, with white. He was the one who chose the reti, which actually we voted, or the audience voted for Magnus to play with white. So maybe Pranesh thought the vote applied to him as well. But yeah, it's definitely a case of Magnus choosing a very slow system. Already a knight and bishop off the board. It's all about which pawns to push, which kind of pieces to improve. Maybe just sliding rooks towards the center. White here has a small advantage because if we look at the biggest pawn chain, it's white with the longest pawn chain here. It's 6 connected pawns. Magnus only has 4 at the maximum, and having this extra central pawn rock solid actually gives a lot of stability for Pranesh. So he's done nothing wrong, Pranesh, but I think stylistically, this is going to favor Magnus, and there we go. Already, we saw a hint that black might be better because a push of the pawn does weaken the white king. And yeah, Pranesh, if you let him attack you, no chance. So I think this is a good start for the world number 1.
Just mentioning some other matchups right now. It was a little quick going into the games. We have Nakamura playing against Alexander Shimanov. We have MVL playing against Pablo Salinas. We have Lazovic playing against Etienne Bacro. Niemann is playing against Subramaniam. It's obviously so many good games going on at this stage in the tournament when you can see all the top all the full scores on one page.
Yeah, the cream normally rises to the top around now. Like some players, they'll get hit by upsets, they'll lose early games, but they tend to bounce back. And in this game, we see a trade of bishops, so it's just queen and knights now. I think this is a good exchange for Pranesh, just because black's bishop is normally the pride and joy. Black's king feels a little less safe now that the bishop in front of it has been traded off. But then again, will Pranesh be able to eke out any advantage against black's isolated pawns? There's two isolated pawns here. This one and another one that can be hit. White has so many central pawns that the control here is just phenomenal. I think this has gone wrong for Magnus suddenly. And I'm not saying he's worse or losing Magnus Carlsen, but it's going to be hard to win this game.
And there we see Magnus saying the exact same thing with his body language.
Exactly. He doesn't feel the energy. There's just no energy when you only have the same pieces as your opponent. Queens and rooks, they kind of cancel each other out.
Does this look like a man who wants energy right now?
Yeah, Magnus wants he wants a nap. I don't know what he wants, but the problem is that White's rook will just sit at some point on the second rank, defend everything. No weaknesses for White, everything covered, and big weaknesses for Black.
I think Magnus Carlsen went into a freeze as well, but it was hard to spot the difference there for a while.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, I didn't notice. I thought he was just like sitting very, very still.
Maybe he's trolling us and he's just pretending to freeze. You got to freeze the opponent's pieces, don't freeze your camera.
Pretty even on time as well here, but at least the position is back to equal.
Yeah.
You know the age of his opponent?
Ooh,
yeah, he's 19.
Yeah.
19.
Pranesh is 19.
So do you usually feel like the younger ones are more aggressive?
I think that tends to be a trend. Like when I was a teenager, I was a bit similar to Pranesh. I would just go for checkmate. I didn't know how to win a game other than just all-out attack on the opponent's king. But sometimes it worked, it didn't.
But do you think it's about age or do you think it's about the chess maturity? Because I feel like a lot of adult beginners as well can be like myself.
Oh yeah?
Can be like that.
Is that how you would define your style?
Yeah.
Attacking?
Yeah, I took a quiz actually. I think online you can do a quiz and then you can see kind of what type of chess player you are. And I got chess barbarian.
Ooh.
There was a lot of different ones, yeah. But yes, I thought maybe it's something about maturity level. You don't know so much about the pawn structures maybe and the strategy aspect.
I never thought of it like that, but I think you're probably right.
Huh.
And I think it's actually a healthy thing, like learning the checkmate patterns first, knowing how to play with dynamic energy, going towards the opponents, scaring the opponents, setting them problems, giving them questions. But yeah, I think as people get older, they start to be more fearful. Like I lost so many games throughout my career that I was like, okay, let's play safer chess, risk-free chess.
Right.
And I don't know if that's maturity. I think it's just
experience.
Well, I think it's just
trauma.
Pragmatism.
Yeah, trauma and pragmatism. Exactly. It's being a boring old man. But
Adantari, he won his game, so he moves up to 4 out of 5. Beat Keith Kumaru.
Okay. Great result for Arian, who's still not out of it. Could still win the tournament if he's accurate. Magnus had an advantage. I'm really surprised Magnus hasn't been taking the opportunity to push his pawn. That's his one ace card for a bit later, but maybe he's a bit scared of Pranesh's attack. Look, Pranesh, he's not going to look at the other side of the board for too long. Sooner or later, he's going to go for the black king. He's going to threaten some sneaky checkmates.
Did you also see the comment from the chat?
Yeah, it looks like he's been changing diapers all night.
Yeah.
Well, right now he's in a freeze, but he wasn't showing much. He was looking sleepy prior to that as well.
Yeah, it must be tiring to be a new dad, right?
Well, from my experience, I was pretty lucky in mine that they were sleeping pretty well and working out well. But it all differs. Obviously, when you're used to being, if you're a chess player, you are more used to defining your own schedule than I think any other profession in the world, especially if you're a top GM. Mm-hmm. And to have your life turned around like becoming a parent actually do. I mean, I don't think it's random that the marriage decline in rating is about 100 points and add kids to it and it goes even further. So, I mean, just the idea that you can no longer simply be responsible for your own life, I think that is difficult for a chess player.
Yeah, it's the marriage tax. It's the baby tax you pay on your rating. when you have kids. But yeah, I mean, it's also the fact that normally you have to peak at around 3 or 4 p.m. in the afternoon. That's when games start.
Yeah.
And suddenly you have to be up at 4 a.m. changing diapers. This position, in the meantime, is dead level objectively. Should be a draw, just because White's queen is so active. Probably is going to win this pawn. Once Magnus drops that pawn, not real chances to win. No more pass pawns. But White can't win.
An even queen endgame against Magnus doesn't sound fun, though.
Exactly. That's the problem. He's playing the greatest endgame, the greatest queen endgame player of all time, Pranesh. So Black shouldn't win. I don't think White can ever win, just because the king is so open. Lacking defenders, there's always going to be checks. So perpetual check is the most logical finish. But can Magnus apply pressure? That is the question before this pawn drops off.
I guess we have seen Magnus win some dead drawn positions before.
Yes, 1 or 2. He knows the mindset needed. The grind master, the grind set that Magnus is so accustomed to. He's giving all the checks. Now the White King's pretty safe. And he's got to be careful, Magnus. He's trying to give up this pawn to get this pawn in order for the pawn in front of the Black King to become passed. But Pranesh is doing a good job of keeping this one on the board. And Magnus makes his move. He loves to centralize his queen, and now he's going walkabout with his own king. He's trying to win this pawn by force. But now Pranesh is better. Magnus is taking some big risks here. It's a pawn down.
This is a really fun endgame.
Don't try this at home, ladies and gentlemen, walking around with your king into the open, no man's land. Pranesh's king is super safe now, and Magnus can never take this one because the pawn next to his queen drops. Oh, this is a 50-50. I think this is decided on the clock. Magnus shaking his head.
He didn't like that move by himself, but Pranesh not finding the right one.
Yeah, the White Queen could have actually moved back more centrally. It didn't. This is still Magnus, though, fighting for a draw. And, oh, Pranesh needs to realize that he can actually take this pawn and that he can do it again now and give a check. Pranesh has found the winning idea. The Black King is so bad now. He could have been taking this one, though. He's going to try and take it next move.
That's too late.
Magnus is suffering. It's queen and pawn versus queen. Magnus cannot win by normal means. He has to win on time. Pranesh is the one with the pawn. Magnus is giving all the checks, but the White King is walking forward. If this was 1 hour versus 1 hour, I think Pranesh would win.
Do you think he's going to win now?
It's hard, though. When you're the one being checked, it takes you a little bit more time. Magnus needs to keep checking. Oh, but the block. Magnus has blundered a queen trade. Magnus has allowed the queens off the board. That's a cross-check, and he resigns. Pranesh about to make a second queen.
You said don't try this at home. Magnus tried it, but he's not at home.
Yeah, that was his downfall. He tried to be a bit too ambitious there. Took big risks in his winning attempts, and it backfired. Pranesh, though, great result.
Only one game left right now. That is Dowden against Mohammed Hussein. That's finishing up, so we're going to go on. It's not going to be an 11 out of 11 for Magnus now, but he's still in the running here.
Yeah, the winning score on average has been around 9.5 to 10 points throughout the 11 rounds. And wow, that's a lot of White wins. If we look on the scoreboard,
yeah,
White wins.
Only Lasovic doing the exception there.
Exactly. And wow, what a clash we have in round 6.
Niemann against Hikaru. I think Sarana, MVL, and Lasovic against the man we just saw, Pranesh, is pretty exciting as well. Mm-hmm. But this one is going to be fun.
Yeah. I don't want to say grudge match, but there's a lot of honor.
But you still said it.
I still said it. The battle of the US, the Civil War. Niemann against Hikaru Nakamura.
I'm not going to say who's north and who's south, but okay, let's go.
Sorry.
And it's a Sicilian.
It's the Sicilian, and not the open Sicilian yet. But you must be happy to see that, Solveig.
Yeah, especially with these two.
Mm-hmm. It's the battle of the HNs. They have the same initials.
I never thought about that.
Yeah, I don't know why that's relevant, but it's an interesting fact.
Yeah.
If your initials are HN and you're watching this show, maybe you should take up chess professionally. And okay, good start to the opening for Hans Niemann, who gets a big center. He's going to take back with a pawn, surely here. A bit of a pause from him. And Hikaru strikes back.
It's quite silent from Niemann's side here, but perhaps at one point we should listen and hear a little bit about what Hikaru has to say here.
Okay.
Let's do it.
I can go to F6, but I'll go to E7. Hey, you.
Just so you know, we're a little bit out of sync on the picture when it comes to
I'm gonna go knight
F5.
Okay, I can obviously take. I mean, very drawish, unfortunately. Is this drawish? Wait, I also have G5. Wait, knight d4, knight d4, bishop h6 takes. I mean, I can do it. I don't want to. If I go king h7, knight e2. Think about this.
I love how he's saying, I really can't, I don't want to. What is that? How is it that intuition kind of like brings you somewhere, but it kind of like, no.
Yeah, I guess top chess players, they start by calculating the forcing moves. He can actually win a pawn here temporarily. He goes for it in the end. That was his instinct. But then he was saying, take. At some point, this pawn will be taken as well, and it's just too drawish. Too many pieces off the board. And that's where his instinct was like, there's probably something better. But ultimately, he didn't find it, and
he's using a lot of time here.
Yeah, he didn't like the tension either. The white pawn will now take, so the white queen protects her knight, and better for white. The white queen's very aggressively placed. White's rooks can slide. That's a big weakness in the center. I think he's playing for a draw, Hikaru. He knows that he's maybe slightly on the back foot, but level material, not that much pieces left on the board. Should be safe enough, despite the eval bar saying that white's better.
Yeah, and he's one of the better players to play for a draw as well, isn't he?
Yeah. Normally when he wants a draw, Hikaru, he gets a draw. He's, I would say, the best defender in the world right now, maybe in chess history.
I feel like Hans has gotten a lot of fans lately.
Yeah.
Like even the comments I'm watching from the chat.
Hans the GOAT.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yet to become world champion, but that's his goal.
Yeah, but I mean, he's had such a journey. I mean, Hans Niemann's professional career has been such a journey, regardless of how you choose to look at that career and how you choose to look at the approach or anything. I mean, he brings such an entertainment aspect to the sport of chess, and I think commercially he is right now one of the strongest names we have in the chess world, and he is time and time again proving that he has become an excellent chess player.
Yeah, he's fantastic, especially faster time controls, even in classical, is so dangerous. And I wonder if that's Hans Angels, is that what they call his fans, like Swifties? Is that
instead of Hell's Angels?
Exactly, I guess. But yeah, he knows his brand, both on the chessboard and off the chessboard, and he plays into it.
Yeah, kind of like the bad boy.
The bad boy image on the chessboard as well, very kind of combative.
I haven't like watched a lot of Hans games. Like, what is his style like?
Yeah, he can do a bit of everything. That's why he's become so strong. He used to be just a pure attacking player, big risks. But then, as we saw when he beat Magnus in 2022 and other games, he's actually quite decent at endgames, underrated there. I would say he's always trying to play on the front foot, always trying to scare his opponents with his moves. And yeah, in general, if he gets the chance to attack, he will. But he's also happy to just be a bit more patient. He's got great nerves. A lot of confidence as well, Hans. So he'll wait for his moment. He won't kind of attack necessarily from move one, but when
he seems pretty confident.
Definitely. Confident is his middle name, and there we go. A pawn does drop after some maneuvering. Not too much happened there, but suddenly Hans Niemann spots a chance to go a pawn up. But maybe this is just a forced draw. I'm looking now at a rook trade. That's going to happen. The queen can take this pawn, but then black's queen can jump in with a check. Or maybe this check. This check picks up the pawn, and ooh, Hans has to be a bit careful now. Once this pawn drops off, black's a pawn is going to be a bit of a runner. It's going to start sprinting down the board. This is Hikaru playing very safe chess. The queen protects the pawn, so the king can run to the side. And it's up to Hans Niemann to force the draw. It's a 2-result game. It's either going to be a draw, or Hikaru will take the win. What do we think? Is it enough? Probably a draw with best play because the black queen's sidelined, but not easy.
It's hard to say.
Yeah.
It's exciting to see what happens.
Queen endgames, I hate them. They're just so hard to evaluate.
I can't lose. There's also just queen c7, which I missed. I guess I just go back to a2 and make the draw anyway.
I love it when we come in at a random point. I can't lose.
I mean, if I go a4, check, queen d7, king h6. Still don't think I can lose, so I'll play on. Why not?
Ooh.
That's a good take by Hikaru, though.
Yeah, and he nailed it spot on. Every time he said it, like the moves would immediately appear on the board. So he predicted the whole line. And good tip for everyone at home, centralized queens. The queen covers 27 squares from the center of the board if it's fully open. So that's where to put the queens. Queen on the side of the board covers far less. And he gives up a pawn, Hikaru. The queen trade not acceptable because a new queen would be born. But here we go. It's going to be check, check until the end of days. Hans is even looking away. He's so confident. Hikaru knows there's no way to escape the draw. And there we go. Fair result after a fair, equal game.
It does look like Magnus is winning easily against Borussia Nakobian. He is up 2 minutes on the clock and a crushing position. Other than that, we have an all-Russian game, Grishuk against Dubov, that looks quite equal. We also have this one, Steinberg against Duda. Duda here with tons of an advantage on the clock and a bit of an advantage on the Evo bar.
Yeah, and Duda's opponent, very strong, Nitzan Steinberg. I've played him myself. He's a very, very tricky player. He's very good at seeing these 2-3 move tactics that suddenly appear out of nowhere. And there we go. He's trying to confuse Duda here, but Duda is much better. He has an extra pawn with black, and if he just moves away, there's some attacks against the white king. But no, he actually takes a second pawn. And can Steinberg somehow move his rook out the way? There we go, the move I was predicting. And the queen's actually threatening to jump into the center with a check, hitting the bishop. The next 5-6 moves are key. If Duda can just cover everything, keep his time advantage, it's over. But, that's a brutal counter-attacking move, threatening some checkmate ideas if the white queen ever moves away. Duda's got this in the bag, I think. Just the clock situation is compounding everything. And, passive defensive move with the bishop when 2 pawns down, that is not a good sign. If you have to start retreating when you're down on material and on the clock, normally that tends to spell the end of your momentum, the beginning of your opponent's. Duda, it's been strange not seeing him at the World Cup, not seeing him participate in the big tournaments lately. It feels like he's kind of taking a break from his dream of becoming world champion.
Well, he's performing well right now here. He looks to be in good shape in this game, both on the board and on the clock.
Yeah, that's why Poland do so well all the time. Duda just leading the charge. But it's been a bad day for another strong speed specialist, Andrew Tang, the Penguin, losing 3 games in a row.
Oh, wow. I'm actually also looking at the Pranesh M game here because he's playing against Lazovic. And that's a really interesting finish because Pranesh has over a minute on the clock, Lazovic only 24 seconds, tons of pieces on the board still, and it's an equal position. So that one is going to be a scramble.
Pranesh, could he beat Magnus and then beat Lazovic and beat everyone?
That would be a strong, strong couple of games.
Yeah. M for mighty.
Yeah, exactly.
Mighty Pranesh. But in the meantime, this game's still totally winning for Duda. He needs to just be a little bit accurate, not to allow any counterplay. He's found the winning idea, though. He gives up a bishop and wins the game. Resignation, because there's a checkmate next move, and his opponent looks devastated, Steinberg.
Oh, yeah, he does not look happy.
Denis Lazovic now with only 15 seconds on the clock in his game against Pranesh M. We're moving over to Rakhmanov and Kaimed, where Rakhmanov is massively better on the board and has 18 more seconds.
He should be winning this one. He's 1 pawn to the good, Rakhmanov. And as long as he doesn't blunder anything, just keep his rook safe. Maybe move it up or move it across. There we go. Oh, maybe choosing a bad square, walking into this pin. Now his pawn might drop. I think he's got half an eye on the clock, though. He's just trying to make it simple. Trade, trade, trade. And win the endgame. 6 seconds in it. Vincent Keimer about to lose. Black's pawn's isolated as well. But fighting hard. This endgame. Oh, the white pawn's running now. He can just push. As soon as the checks dry up, that pawn is going to decide the game. Here we go. A new queen is about to be born. Check. A new queen. 2 seconds for Vincent Keimer. He needs a miracle. He gets skewered. Oh, that's a mouse slip. He dropped his queen on the wrong square. Rakhmanov drops his rook, but wins on time.
Oh, wow. Well, it was actually the exact same. I was talking about Lazovic against Pranesh. Exact same thing happened towards the end there where Pranesh had a huge mistake, but still won because Lazovic didn't have enough time on the clock. So this is pressure at the end here.
Wow, big pressure. The top player's feeling it. And only
look
3
at this.
players now.
Sarana, Korobov, and Pranesh. Yeah. That's quite the trio ahead.
That's quite the trio. And Korobov has had a tough year, I think, in chess in general, but especially over the board. So nice to see him at the top.
Nepo and Niemann, that's fun.
Oh, let's go.
That's not what you want to draw if you're Niemann right now with black pieces and Nepo, who took that early loss. You're not even getting that bonus of having him ahead of you in the standings. Or sorry, it was an early draw, wasn't it?
Draw, yeah. But like you say, like you draw a game and you just think you'll get an easier pairing.
Yeah.
And then you play Nepo. That's why this tournament is so fun. But in the meantime, it was a Roy Lopez, a Spanish opening. That means the white bishop coming up very early. It's kind of done a bit of a journey. It's kind of gone back, and now it's gone back forward again. So doing some big work. This knight is hit and has to move out the way. Does it take a pawn? This looks like the principled move, but no. Hans Niemann retreats. He doesn't want to risk his knight getting stranded on the side of the board.
Ariantari won his last game. He's now 5 out of 6. And he's playing against Grishuk with white pieces.
It feels like, especially this week, the last week of the autumn split, all of the big guns have turned up, and so many titanic pairings.
We have Magnus now playing against the Martirosyan.
Yeah, one of the best Armenian players. Maxime Vachier-Lagrave playing Vietnam's #1, Liam Le. But here we go. It has been a pawn grab from Hans Niemann. And for those of you at home who think this is a blunder, he's got a sneaky plan in mind. Bishop takes bishop. The black queen will recapture. And when white's rook goes and takes this knight, it will lose focus of its own knight. And black's rook will swoop down and restore the material balance. So maybe still slightly better for white in that variation. But Hans Niemann has not let a piece drop. That was very sneaky tactics. He's very good at these kind of short calculations. Hans Niemann, very quick on the clock, 4 minutes 23. He's had a tough few months, Hans. He didn't quite make it to the Esports World Cup. He lost to Anish Giri in the last chance qualifiers. Then he lost to Anish Giri in the last round of the Grand Swiss to not make it to the candidates. Got knocked out early from the World Cup. Didn't make it to the Speed Chess Championship finals. It feels like he's always so close, Hans. But yeah, his fans out there probably cheering him on to make one more big push.
Yeah.
How old is he now?
He's born in 2003, so
Yeah.
22, I believe.
Yeah, quite young.
Yeah. Anything born after 2000 is young in my
agree.
eyes. I keep seeing these Instagram reels.
That's the first take that you're getting older, when you start pushing the born rate of whether people are young or old.
Yeah, like every time on Instagram I open it and there's these people being asked on the street, like, when do you have to be born to be considered old? And everyone says 2000. And that just feels so unfair.
That's not okay at all.
And in the meantime, still level material. There were not tactics in the end with those knights, but Nepo blocking it up. I think that's good for him. Like pawns on light squares, bishop on dark squares, that's a strategy I was taught by one of my first coaches to make the bishop good. Like black's bishop is bad because it's on the same color complex as its own pawns. And there we go. Hans Niemann strikes out, lacking space. He's trying to fight for it. En passant would be met by a queen capture. And I think that's a good turn for Hans Niemann, who did defeat Nepo in the Title Tuesday that he won a few weeks ago. So a bit of a, I'll say it again, grudge match. Queen's improving. Do we have any predictions? Who do we think is going to take this one? Looking balanced so far.
It does feel like this is just time difference, 40 seconds in advantage Niemann. I mean, it always comes down to time in these games, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. Especially with the no extra time, no increments whatsoever.
Yeah, not many people do this to Nepo. He's known as the speediest player out there, especially in classical chess. But
I believe Nepo can.
And he's speedy in a way where you would think he liked the no increment, because it's not necessarily like the end game. Let's do with the 1 second increment. It's just his general play is so extremely fast.
That's true. Very instinctive. And he's been that way ever since I first met him when we were both around 7 years old. He's been super speedy, Nepo.
That must have been so much fun to follow that 1990 generation coming up with all the guys you guys were and the battles you had from an early age. You, Magnus, Nepo, Karyakin was part of it. Hammer was there. It must have been amazing.
MVL. Andrejka and some others. Yeah, it was a lot of fun at the time, although I hated them all for being so good. But rivals, That's what brings out the best in people, having those benchmarks to force them to improve. And this rivalry looks like it's going in Hans Niemann's direction. That's a clear pawn in the center. He can take it, and this pawn as well, very, very weak. Nepo's let it slip. This is bad news for Jan Nepomniachtchi. I think he should start with this pawn. The other one is not running away anytime soon. The other one, you've got to be careful because the Black Queen has to defend her knight as well as control the center. She'll be overworked. Okay, he slows down, and he does take that one, and he's still better, Hans Niemann. What has he calculated? After knight takes knight, I believe he wants to not take the knight back, but take this pawn instead, hitting the white queen. He's trying to confuse Nepo here. That is devilish. This is the most complicated game we've seen so far.
How fun.
Yeah, how fun. It also means that I have to be quiet while I try and figure out what's going on. It's a blunder from Nepo.
He thought it was complicated as well.
He thought it was complicated as well. Blunder back from Hans Niemann. There was actually a very cool tactic. Black's pawn could have pushed forward, unleashing the black bishop, but he missed it. And this position is going to be looking balanced after bishop takes bishop here.
But that's actually my favorite take from a commentator, David. When you're talking about how complicated this is, I mean, we get the feeling, we start watching the Evo bar, we don't see the actual positions. You're talking about the complications. We see a blunder, boom. We see a blunder again right away. I love that kind of commentary because it gives an insight that lower rated players, we really need the help of you providing it to see what's coming up.
Yeah, I think no matter the rating, everyone needs to dive a bit deeper to understand. It's like Solveig said earlier, like computer evaluations, they only tell half the story.
We get blinded by them, don't we?
Exactly. It will be so easy to say here, Black's much better because he has an active queen and rook, but actually it's probably because tactically this bishop has no safe way home. There's already a direct attempt to checkmate the white king. You have to calculate 3 or 4 lines to prove that for Black. If the white bishop gets to safety, if the white king doesn't get mated, then white could be better. So it's very much a temporary state of affairs right now. The clock situation as well, I think, maybe adding to the pain for Nepo. But yeah, it's the type of position that could turn in just one blunder, just like we saw earlier.
Yeah, and it's one of those where blunders, the word blunder becomes a matter of definition as well, because it's so complicated right now that it's really hard to play correctly.
Exactly, and he has played correctly, Hans Niemann. He did take the white bishop. I thought this might lead to a bunch of really annoying checks, but the black king is going to slide and sneak away. It's going to hide and run in the corner. There's no way to stop its path. So black will have an extra rook for knight advantage with a pawn in the center as well. Extra material means a win here for Hans Niemann. If white's queen could check on this line to stop the black king running, it would have been a game, but now the king has a safe hiding spot. Maybe even defending his pawn. There we go. Keeping this pawn intact as well. And that will force resignation, I'm going to say, from Nepo. He just has no time. 40 seconds. He's going to lose to Hans Niemann again. He struggled against him in Title Tuesday, all split. Wow, this is big for Hans, who's going to be half a point off the leaders, most likely.
This is shaping up to be such an exciting finish right now. I'm watching some of the other games as well. I see Magnus has just gotten an advantage against Martirosyan. I see that Nakamura has just drawn against Korobov. He stays up top then. He was one of the top scorers so far. So with Serrano playing against Pranesh, we could essentially have no full scores after this round if they draw as well. Then again, what was the statistic? 92% of the games in Title Tuesdays are now decided with this format.
Yeah, will it be one of those few, one of the 8%? As we're likely to have just one player standing on 100% after this game. Here we're going to see a checkmate round the back, supported by the queen. The knight hops in the way, but that queen trade is going to seal the fate, and he actually resigns Nepo. He blundered his queen on the last move. He didn't even wait for Hans to take it.
That's a good win by Hans Niemann, and did go to prove, even though it was equal at one time, the person with the most time on the clock is the one who's most comfortable about the position.
That's right. The clock is king. And here we go. Magnus is a piece up as we join this battle. Black has some counterplay due to the very strong pawn in the corner here, tying down a rook. But it does feel like the black king is the main concern. If Magnus can ever set up a mate, covered for now by the black rook. But if he can ever do that, it's game over. Or maybe something on the diagonal. He looks a bit uncomfortable. He takes a pawn. That rook was untouchable since the white queen would have swooped in. Now he's just trying to keep things safe. Block. And he's going to trade off those pieces. Magnus, how often does he centralize the queen, centralize the knight, and just win? It's just a simple recipe that he makes look like beginner stuff, but okay, still needs to put on the finishing touches. The knight untouchable due to a back rank checkmate there. And if the knight isn't taken, then the knight is going to leap forward and support the Arabian checkmate. Matarosian allows his clock to run down, and there we go. Magnus moving on up.
We're used to this. Magnus shaking his head and taking the win.
He's the ultimate perfectionist. Right? Never happy. Never happy.
Let's look at some games. I was going to say Aidantari is in trouble against Grishuk, but it's such a time scramble there right now that nothing is decided. Oh, here you see it's the lone king, but
just
it's
played so bad. I don't know if I can survive the opening with white. I would be doing much better, but just playing stuff that I absolutely have no recollection, and I get a shitty position. So it was unfortunate, especially.
Yeah, that's one of those comments that is not necessarily censored before they go on air, but it's Aryan speaking. I mean, pretty true values here in what he's saying. He's not happy at all.
Yeah, and I think chess players, yeah, as we saw with Magnus shaking his head, we are our own worst critic. Like,
yeah,
we're so harsh on ourselves. Aryan was right; it was a tough position a bit earlier on, but ultimately not quite quick enough either. As we get round 8.
Pranesh in the sole lead, the only one with a full score. He beat Serrana in their game, and that means that, hey, it's not only Magnus Carlsen he's beating everyone else as well.
Wow, and the race is on. If Pranesh can keep winning, it's going to be hard to catch him, but yeah, let's jump into that game. Hans Niemann choosing his favorite opening, the Italian. When Hans wants to take it seriously and wants to win, he plays this against anyone, and he's confident. He knows the patterns so well. He's also played the version where white expands fully on this flank, so gaining all the space. But Pranesh, I said it earlier, he's going to go for the white king now. He's going to bring his queen forward. He's going to land his knight nearby, and he's going to try and seek some kind of sudden attack against His Majesty here in the corner. I think this one's going to be decisive, not just because it's 92% chance, but also because of the styles of player.
Yeah,
they both really love a fight.
We're at 7 games right now. We have Hans in the top. We have Magnus who's chasing from behind. If Magnus wins his next one, we're coming closer and closer to a potential Niemann-Carlsen game.
Oh, it's been a while. We've seen 1 or 2 this split in Title Tuesday. Magnus has had the upper hand, but will we see it again? The trilogy.
I don't think we're talking about a trilogy here. I think we're talking about one of the, you know those fantasy authors that write 20 and you know they're never going to get finished with whatever project they started? That's
True.
it.
Yeah, George R. Martin.
Yeah, exactly.
The unfinished. When will the finale happen? Probably in 20 years' time when they face off for the world title.
Exactly.
Okay.
When Magnus decided he wanted to come back.
Exactly. And looking very balanced, I would say, at least a superficial glance, although the eval bar preferring white, probably again, because more space.
I've been so impressed with Pranesh here in every game that I watched, how he manages to stay those few seconds ahead on the clock and taking pragmatic, good early decisions.
Yeah, and so that's so key. The young players, often they're overawed when they play like Magnus, Hikaru. I think normally they're quite quick, but then they slow down because they're like, oh wow, these players are amazing, they're my heroes. That automatically slows you down. Anytime I play someone I've worshipped from a young age, I just can't think straight. But that's where Pranesh has been doing so well.
When does nerves hit? I mean, he didn't show nerves against Magnus, and now he's 7 out of 7. And yes, Pranesh is an excellent player, but he's not known for fighting in the very top.
That's true. I think they'll hit probably now. If not now, then after round 8, there's a bit more of a break.
Yeah.
There's a 6-minute break. Maybe Pranesh will be sitting there being like, oh my God, can I do this? Can I actually get the ball over the line? Can I win Title Tuesday ahead of all of the best players? So do you ever get nervous when you play?
All the time. I used to be much worse. I remember like when I just started, I was even nervous just to play a random online game, you know? When I started, I just played bots. And the first time I went to a chess club, I was so nervous because it's like, am I going to blunder an officer in the opening? Are people going to think I'm stupid? So it's been like quite a journey to actually gain that confidence.
What was the reception when you went to a chess club?
It was amazing. So, well, there was not a lot of women there. It was kind of a sausage party, but they were very nice, and I think they were also excited to see a new face, and a woman. It's probably fun as well to not only have old men all the time in the chess clubs, I guess.
But did you also find that there were a lot of other players who were beginning out, and that it was possible to beat, even though you're quite, at that point, less experienced?
Yeah, I won my second game.
Nice.
I did. I won it with a bit of a cute tactic and a royal fork. So I was very happy about that. And my opponent, he was really angry with himself because he lost that way. But then he saw how happy I was. So then he became happy too. So that was kind of nice.
And what was it that eventually helped you shake off those nerves and feel always confident when you kind of went to the club or sat down at the board?
It's been a journey, to be honest, and it's funny that you're asking, because that's actually what my second chess ball course is about. It's going to be brave chess, I think. So it's about finding that courage over the board, because I think there's a lot of beginners that's been traumatized early, maybe by some early queen showdowns or stronger players, and then they start turtling and.
Oi!
Wow. Okay, talking of brave chess, that was not brave by either player. They repeated the position. I didn't think they'd continue. They started dancing with their kings back and forth, and they found a way to repeat 3 times.
I asked when the nerves were going to hit. This has to be nerves as well, though.
Yeah, I think especially from Pranesh.
Yeah.
I'm really surprised Hans allowed that. But yeah, I think Pranesh, rather than going for 11 out of 11, maybe sensing that Hans was a bit slow there.
Well, this guy is looming in the background. Yes, Pranesh beat him head-to-head, but that also means that that was late enough that Magnus's tiebreaker is probably going to be pretty good here, because he's only faced pretty good players so far. Now he's in a very good position against Korobov.
Exactly. The tiebreaker is the sum of your opponent's scores. So if you face strong opposition, it means likely they got a better score, and that helps. And yeah, that's going to be it's going to be interesting to see who that favors. Korobov is one of my favorite people. He's just the nicest guy you'll ever meet. So funny. Yeah, I've had many a fun after party after a chess tournament with him. But in the meantime, it looks like he's not having so much fun on this board. Anton Korobov.
It did not sound like everyone was sober there.
No comment. But yeah, I was building up to say that this isn't much fun for Korobov, who's facing some very strong pawns. Those two especially are just going to march probably here and now. He looks like he knows Korobov. And ooh, it's a sacrifice from Magnus. Korobov leans forward. Pawn takes bishop, will be met by a queen recapture, and the queen will hit the rook and the knight, and Magnus will emerge with at least 2 or 3 extra pawns. That looks devastating, and Korobov knows it. The Ukrainian GM probably about to have to click that resign button.
But now Magnus, if he wins here, if Korobov hits that resign button, it's going to send Magnus into a 7-point score. It's going to put him half a point back for the win. He's suddenly back in the game.
Yeah, the one thing is he doesn't have his fate in his own hands yet, because he lost to Pranesh, and Pranesh is the leader. But there we go, Magnus. He's moving up in the standings. He's doing what he can. And Pranesh in the sole lead on 7.5 we see up there, but Magnus just behind.
And Korobov's reaction was just, this was silly. This was not a good game of chess.
Just left the cam.
Yeah.
Break time, luckily, for Korobov, who will try and shake it off and come back, who's played great so far. He's a very streaky player, Korobov. So normally when he wins a lot in a row. 1 loss, and he can sometimes take a few more hits.
Nakamura looks to be in good shape against Pranav, but we also have Lasovic, who's in major trouble against Ashraf.
Hey, wow.
And that's interesting. Well, to say the positives for Lasovic is he's a little bit ahead on the clock, but he's in trouble. But here is the Nakamura game where he's trying to finish it up against Pranav.
And we jump in at a nice moment where it's actually almost leveled material, but the white knight was actually trapped on this square, had nowhere to go. It was hit by a pawn, so it ended up sacrificing itself on the f7 square, just for 1 check, just for another pawn, but that should not be enough. Pranav, the world junior champion, the man who eliminated Ariantari from the World Cup.
And also a favorite of mine, because I always like those lettered player, Pranav V.
Or Buddy Pranav, as the chess bras call him. And now
also a teenager, also Indian, also a lettered player. I mean, they have so many good chess players.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, even just pre-pandemic, they had, what was it, around 30, 40 grandmasters. Now they have 90 grandmasters. Just in the last 5 years alone, they've doubled the number of grandmasters in their country. And imagine Vishy was their first ever grandmaster.
And those are not the grandmasters that have been
Oh, sorry.
Struggling throughout their 20s and such to get that title. These are young kids coming up and really ready to go out and dominate.
Yeah, and there's so many of them, and they're pushing each other. And yeah, they're just all so well prepared. The Indian school of chess used to be like pure tactics. You kind of, they go into hustle mode and they try and get you, they try and press you on the clock. Now it's all about great openings, great positional play, great calculation. Pranav in big trouble here because he's down a bishop. But if the pawn on the left side of the board here disappears, which it will with a check, maybe there's some chance for Pranav to take rooks or not to take rooks. He doesn't feel he can with black's extra bishop, but that means he drops his central pawn, and now the bishop's going to move out of the way. And this pawn here, the e-pawn, will surely decide. But you're right, they're just so good, this new generation. Imagine just 45 years ago, they had 0 grandmasters. And
what's the reason
90.
they got so many more now, you think?
A lot of it has to do with Vishy Anand, I believe.
Yeah.
The first ever grandmaster, first ever world champion, Vishy,
So
inspired
it's like
the nation.
inspired a lot of new players to start playing.
Yeah, Chess-based India doing good work as well.
And his ability, Vishy Anand's ability to really embrace the chess players from India, to create opportunities for young kids and really offer up so much of his personality within his role as a world champion and one of the greatest players.
Yeah, a real mentor, and he takes it in his stride, and he's got that kind of that legend status. He's had it for years already. In the meantime, Hikaru going on to win this game. He's about to win a pawn. He's trading off rooks now. No time on the clock. Bishop drops back. Pranav's playing for a flag, but Hikaru is pre-moving with his king. The bishop and pawn protect each other. And there we go. Slow but steady. The king is zigzagging forward. New queen about to be born. There we go. Checkmate in a couple of moves now, and Hikaru takes the win. Never really in doubt ever since we joined. Pranav tried, but couldn't quite catch up, make it back.
That means Hikaru takes this win. He is moving up to 7 points, the same point total as Magnus, as Niemann, as Serrana, as Lasovic. But there's one guy on top here, Pranesh. He is having quite the tournament. Listen, the players are going on break now. And one of the highlights today, the action replay that we really want to look through, is the reason why Pranesh is up there at 7.5 points. Take a look at how he got there with this action replay.
And it was still Magnus, though, fighting for a draw, and Pranesh needs to realize that he can actually take this pawn, and that he can do it again now and give a check. Pranesh has found the winning idea. The black king is so bad now. He could have been taking this one, though. He's going to try and take it next move.
That's too late.
Magnus is suffering. It's queen and pawn versus queen. Magnus cannot win by normal means. He has to win on time. Pranesh is the one with the pawn. Magnus is giving all the checks, but the white king is walking forward. If this was 1 hour versus 1 hour, I think Pranesh would win.
Do you think he's going to win now?
It's hard, though. When you're the one being checked, it takes you a little bit more time. Magnus needs to keep checking. Oh, but the block. Magnus has blundered a queen trade. Magnus has allowed the queens off the board. That's a cross check, and he resigns. Pranesh about to make a second queen.
You said don't try this at home. Magnus tried it, but he's not at home. Well, we got to see the replay here, and it was disgust in the face of Magnus Carlsen there. You can't really say the word over-ambition about Magnus Carlsen either, because this ambition is what leads to so many queen endgame wins.
Exactly. Like probably 80% of the time Magnus pushes that hard, he takes the win.
Yeah.
Maybe 10% it'll still be a draw, and another 10% he'll lose. But it just happened to be that Pranesh even took all of the chances he was given. And yeah, Magnus, he'll look back and think, oh, maybe if I took a draw, I'd be the one out on 7.5 now. But he can't think like that. He's got to try and play catch up in the last 3 rounds.
He's come back nicely, though. It's his ability to really stand up after a loss and come back and manage to focus on the chess. It's quite incredible.
Yeah, I think it's very admirable. I think for many people that's quite hard, because it can really hurt psychologically, I think, when you lose.
How are you there, David? How do you stand up after a loss?
Yeah, that's something I've always struggled with actually in my career, and I wish I'd maybe spoken to, I don't know, sports psychologist or maybe even just friends or Magnus about it. Yeah, it's bounce back ability, they call it, or that ability to win. after suffering a tough defeat, and I've struggled. I often go on tilt.
You're not alone there, though. I mean, you see so many players who take one loss, and it's usually followed by one or two more because they just start steaming.
Exactly. And I mentioned the likes of Korobov. He's that type of player, maybe very streaky, but it can go the wrong way. Neiman has withdrawn from a couple of Title Tuesdays in a row because he lost a couple of games, so it can happen. But Magnus, you see him lose. Everyone loses. But twice in a row, nearly never.
I have a question, actually, David, if you mind.
Hit me.
I was wondering, do you have you had a loss that's haunted you that was like really bad?
Oh, so many. I lost in the World Junior. I think my first kind of really heartbreaking loss in the World Junior Championship, World Under-20. In the last round, I had white. I was leading a draw, and it turns out I would have won the gold. My opponent offered me a draw. I said no. I played on. I lost. And I lost the title.
That's heartbreaking.
And, yeah, there was another one where I nearly qualified for the candidates, and
You told us about that during the viewing party today.
I couldn't sleep for weeks.
What game was that?
I lost to Wang Hao in 2019. Otherwise, if I'd beaten him, I would have been in the candidates. But I took a massive risk to try and win. It backfired, and that's all I could think about. And then the pandemic hit, so I could think about it for a whole year.
Oh my God!
But
so sorry.
Those career losses, do you think they become career defining, or is that up to each and every one player?
I think that's the key, right? Like, you can't let it define you.
Yeah.
I think it used to just, my results used to be so intrinsically linked with myself, like my sense of self-worth. Now I realize, actually, bigger picture, it's just a stepping stone. Like, the end goal is being happy or being successful, whatever your definition is. It doesn't have to be world champion all the time. So, yeah, as long as you make these small steps and you feel like you're happy in life, that's the main thing.
You don't need to buy Paulo Coelho books to have inspiration. You just listen to David Howell if you ask me. So that's good. Listen, there's a survey that I would be really excited if you guys looked at, because we want to try to create the best Title Tuesday experience for the viewers. And this is a process where we really want to take in your guys' thoughts on how this broadcast can become better. We're also going to draw one of the people who filled out this survey to win a Magnus Carlsen wooden chessboard with a signature. Hope that is also not necessarily the main inspiration for doing this, though. More to create the product that you feel that you want as a chess fan. And hopefully Title Tuesday, at least in my opinion, is really taking so many steps to become what I want in a chess broadcast as well, because this is exciting. This is entertaining.
Yeah, I think the perfect format. The players love it, clearly. They all play, despite the fact they've all got other stuff going on, despite the limited prizes. But Title Tuesday, this is here to stay, hopefully.
Who will win Game Week 13?
Oh, wow, he blunders his rook in the corner. He simply forgot his rook was attacked. 1 second. Can he hold on? No, a couple of checks, and there we go. Denis Lazovic takes the win.
And it's part of the game. This is how...
Arian loses his rook, and he's getting mated.
It's just not too slow.
Magnus has blundered a queen trade. Magnus has allowed the queens off the board. That's a cross check, and he resigns. Pranesh about to make a second queen.
And that means that Pranesh, he is ahead here with 7.5 points. Magnus Carlsen, he's one player following. We have Hikaru Nakamura, we have Hans Niemann, we have Denis Lazovic. This is going to be exciting. And what do we get? We get the matchup we were kind of hoping for.
And now he's playing, isn't that the Reti? No? The one he had to play?
The Reti. Yeah. You're right. Good spot. He's played the move that the viewers voted for. Magnus always gives the viewers what they want, and that's a nice watch as well, I've got to say, reflecting the screen. Oh, and then Magnus moved it away. But there was a small smile, a half smile from Hans Niemann when the game began. I think this pairing is going to motivate Hans. I'm not sure Magnus wants to be here. And yeah, this Reti is going to lead to a very tense battle. Wow, strap the seatbelts up, everyone. It's going to be a ride.
David, I don't know much about the Reti. Can you tell me a bit about it?
Yeah, so the Reti opening, it was named after Richard Reti, a Hungarian grandmaster, and it's essentially a way to postpone tension. You give the center to your opponent. It's called a hyper-modern opening.
Yeah.
And that's because often you fianchetto both bishops, and you kind of attack the center from the side. And I think until the kind of mid-1900s, it was frowned upon. No, everyone went e4 or d4 and occupied the center with pawns. Here you try and occupy it with pieces. And
but you want to strike. You want to strike in the center, delayed, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And I think you called it because there we go. The strike does happen sooner rather than later. It's needed. And there we go. Magnus pushes back the enemy bishop. That was hitting his queen. And yeah, often the reti transposes to lots of other openings as well. Sometimes it becomes a d4 opening, but here Magnus held back with his pawn. Sometimes it becomes like a reverse Sicilian. I'm expecting Magnus to capture here. And either way, it just ensures the game is a long one. It's my favorite opening because I like my long games. And
is it?
Yeah. Oh. I hate theory nowadays. Nobody really knows what to do against the reti. There's no way to force anything with black, which is nice.
Do you know why the evil bar says Magnus is much better?
Oh, good question. If I'm thinking, normally it means that there's something forcing here. So, okay, he plays something really slow. I would have maybe thought it was a capture in the center. Black's knight takes back, and then white could have hit the bishop, and then pushed another pawn to open up the bishop and tried to trap this bishop in the process. But Magnus goes for a slower approach. I think it's one of those where it's like, if you find all the best moves and evaluate it well, probably with a 1 minute kind of sacrifice of your time, then you find it. But I don't think it was so easy for Magnus Carlsen there. And now it's probably the most blocked position I've seen in weeks. Look at the pawn chain.
But I feel like just viewing Magnus in the picture here, he looks a lot sharper right now, a lot more into this game than what we've seen in the past today.
Yeah, he's probably not going to struggle for motivation in this game.
No, he wants to win.
I think they both really want to win. And, okay, very, very blocked. When Magnus beat Hans a couple of weeks ago on his route to 11 out of 11, he went for a very different approach. He actually tried to force a draw Magnus, all pieces off the board, straight to the endgame. Here, he's totally switched up the strategy. He's trying to play the slowest game possible. Probably he'll retreat his bishop. There we go. And he's going to try and build eventually for a pawn break. It's like a reversed King's Indian pawn structure where black has more space due to the central pawn here, but it's actually white with the pawn breaks who can blow open the position when he's ready. He's going to kick the knight. He's going to move his bishop back, surely. You mentioned brave chess earlier. Do you think this is brave chess?
Yeah, but I feel like, I'm not sure if I'm right, but I feel like Magnus is kind of like migrating his army towards the enemy king side, and then maybe with the pawn break, I was just wondering, is he going to attack or not?
Yeah, I think he wants to. And now Hans Niemann, maybe he'll attack. The rook is staring down at the queen and king. Maybe he'll push a pawn forward and explode the position.
Yeah, I think this is very fun. And this is also like, I think, an example of the evil bar, because now it kind of, okay, it says, yeah, it kind of looks equal from the evil bar, but then when we look at it, it's kind of exciting, like what's going to happen.
Yeah, it's one of those positions, anything could happen. And okay, Magnus finally tries to trade off what on paper is his bad bishop, because he's got so many pawns on light squares, for his opponent's good bishop, the protector of the black king. Well, they've got the exact same body language.
Same pose.
Exact same pose there, both with the big watches as well.
Yeah.
Big rating, big watches. Oh, they both look very tense. Magnus is normally ahead on time, but not this game.
Oh my god, what am I doing?
Magnus has blundered. Oh, wow, and Hans Niemann doesn't see it. He could have played queen takes queen, and then he could have just won a pawn, Hans Niemann, and then won another pawn on the next move. Hans Niemann could have been 2 pawns up. That's why Magnus reacted so big. But he lives to breathe. Hans is still better. At least black is the one with more space, but Magnus, that was horrible.
Does that shake you a bit when you nearly blunder like that and your opponent don't see it? You get
we could hear. It shook him quite a lot, it seemed.
But like after.
Yeah, most mere mortals, I think, would now panic, but he's quite good at that bouncing back, and he lives in the moment, Magnus.
And this is becoming even more important for the total win right now, because Nakamura is looking very good against Pranesh at the moment.
Ooh. Big game here. It's the king versus the prince.
And we haven't seen Magnus against Hikaru, so that is a very likely matchup if Hikaru goes on to win and Magnus goes on to win.
Wow. It always seems like they're on collision course sooner or later. This position, it is very strategic, and that suits Magnus now that Hans missed that immediate win. But okay, it's still very, very tense. And you can see Magnus is slower than normal. Like, there's something about how, like, the more you want it, the slower you become somehow. It's finding that balance. You've got to want it, but you've also got to be a bit relaxed. And he looks so tense on the camera, Magnus. Hans looks very much kind of chilled right now. Oh, I don't know what to predict. I think on paper it should be a draw, at least this position, because it's so locked up.
I feel tense. Watching.
Cut the tension with a knife. Oh, Hans Niemann presses the chaos button and tries to break through. It's a good move according to the eval bar. He's trying to actually hit this knight. He's probably going to take it now. But what is the next idea? Is he going to take this pawn, try to open up his rooks? He's sacrificed a pawn, Hans Niemann. He does take the knight off the board. Now he takes another pawn, and the white king's going to have to step further forward. Watch out. Magnus's king's in big trouble. He runs away. Oh, it's so tense. Attacking this pawn now. Magnus can probably bail out with a draw if he wants it by bringing his king forward, getting checked and coming back. But he wants more. No talking at all from either of them.
Yeah, this is so tense, though.
They want this so badly. Magnus's king moves back.
See the comment there as well, table slamming coming.
It does feel like the type of game where...
Someone could slam the table.
Yeah, if there's a decisive result. I literally don't know who it could be, though. Magnus has an extra pawn, so I think he's playing without much risk. Hans Niemann has such active pieces that he's got compensation. He's got lots of pressure. The knight is better than the bishop. 1 minute against 1 minute. Wow.
The knight is better than the bishop because it's happier, or because it's a lot of pawns?
Yeah, I think because it's very blocked. And the bishop... Ooh, I was going to say the bishop couldn't move forward.
Pranav beat Ariantari.
Yeah, just as he did at the World Cup.
Lasovic beat Serrano. Back to this game.
Pranav is Ariantari's kryptonite, as we've learned in the last month. In the meantime, still so tense. Magnus almost repeating moves here. The knight is on the side of the board, though, so if it doesn't get back in the game, then long-term the bishop could become better. If the white bishop can somehow teleport and go behind and win some pawns, if the rooks, for example, disappear from the board, then the bishop will be the superior piece. But for now, Hans has enough compensation, although Magnus is turning it in his favor, and he's almost ready. He's going to bring his king forward. He's going to push his pawns. These two are connected pass pawns. And he's finally got them going. Magnus now massively better after maneuvering for so long, but has it cost him too much time on the clock?
But what a maneuvering job, though.
Yeah. Look at that white king. It's so much better than it's ever been. Now the bishop will cover the square the knight wants to use. White's rook is coming in. This is a winning advantage for Magnus Carlsen.
And Magnus is very fast right now.
Yeah, he's sped up. And this pawn is dropping. Hans reacts. If you take that rook off, it's going to be replaced by an even stronger pawn. Oh, this is torture now. Beautiful strategy from Magnus. Bishop on dark squares, pawns on light squares. He just needs to move his king away, or take that knight even.
Would you take it? Oh, yeah, I took it.
With no time on the clock, you don't want to blunder a royal fork. Knight fork. Now the king is going to come round, support its pawns. Black's pass pawn is blockaded. Magnus with enough time, surely. Just bring his rook back. Hans is doing his best here to try and complicate the position. He's trying his best, but white's pawn's too strong. He's going to centralize his king. He's going to try and win this pawn at least, but the white pawn, one square from touchdown. 10 seconds versus 10 seconds. It's a scramble. Magnus, though, starts from a winning position. He gives a check. The black king struggling. No moves for Hans Niemann. It's going to be a king and pawn endgame. Magnus can pre-move his king forward. Those pawns trap the black king. Here we go, barring stalemate or a flag. Magnus Carlsen's going to win. 4 seconds versus 2 seconds. He's got 2 queens. Can he give checkmate? 3 seconds left. He's going to deliver the killer blow just in time. Magnus takes the win.
And that was just the spectacular game that we were hoping for here.
Wow, that was so tense.
That was too exciting.
That was crazy. That was like cinema where you know it's building up to a big fight scene and eventually it lands.
But it was interesting to see the reaction at the end here by Hans. It was not frustration, it was not annoyance, it was not any visible reaction except sadness.
Yeah, pure sadness from Hikaru Nakamura as well, who blundered at the end there.
Was he not better?
He was totally winning, and he blundered at the end.
Well, that is great news for Pranesh, though. He still has his fate in his own hand here. Yeah. He's half a point ahead.
Yeah, of someone he's already played, Magnus Carlsen.
And he only got 2 games left. And we're talking about when does the nerves show up? Look at this board here right now. You have Pranesh, Lazovic, Magnus. This is when the nerves should really, really show up.
Wow. All Indian clash on board 1. That's a full 1 point down float for Pranesh, who's playing Arjun. And Arjun needs to win in a must-win situation, 1 point back. And yeah, Denis Lazovic has a great score against Magnus in Tidal Tuesdays recently. So that's going to be difficult for the world number 1 on board 2.
And he has the white pieces.
And Denis has the white pieces. He's so much better with the white than black, Denis. There's a clear difference in power there. In the meantime, this opening looks like it's gone well for Arjun, who's already better. White again going for the Reti opening, this time fianchettoing the dark squared bishop. But black's pawn's very strong, very far advanced. And I'm expecting quick development now from Arjun to try and capitalize. It's very quick for black to castle. In such an open position, it looks like that will give him the advantage. It's been a tough month for Arjun. He's the highest rated player in history never to have qualified for the candidates tournament, the only 2800 who's never been there. He was so close as well in Goa just a few days ago, but ended up losing in tiebreaks to Wei Yi. Can he bounce back? Is it going to be the year of Arjun in 2026? Will it be the year of Pranesh? The week of Pranesh here at Tidal Tuesday. Oh, predictions on this board. Or predictions, who do we think is going to win the title this week in Tidal Tuesday? Can Magnus do it, or is Pranesh too far ahead now with his fate in his own hands?
I kind of believe in Pranesh.
Just the way he's been playing, right?
Yeah. If he can keep his nerves, maybe.
Yeah. If he can beat Hikaru with black, he can beat anyone. That being said, this position now is beautiful for black, who's got a knight on an outpost in front of what is a very bad isolated pawn. This pawn, you kind of want to pick it off the board, throw it away, because it blocks white's bishop. And now the black queen's coming in for checkmate. This has been a really bad opening for Pranesh against the man they call the madman, Arjun Erigaisi, who loves an attack.
They call him the madman?
They call him the madman.
And
he
it's
loves
so
chaos.
funny. I mean, for someone who is so calm, courteous, and friendly personality-wise, to be such a rebel on the chessboard, it's usually you feel like those personalities match a little better than what it does with Arjun Erigaisi.
Exactly. It's like he's got 2 personalities: the chess player and then the loveliest guy in the world. And he's so softly spoken, so polite,
and just an altogether really nice guy.
Exactly. I remember when I first met him in person in 2021, I played a Blitz tournament. He crushed me 2-0. And it was both one-sided games, and I never get destroyed that badly. And I said to him afterwards, I was like, that was amazing. You'll be 2800 in 2 years. And he was like, thank you, sir. I'm so sorry for beating you. And I was like, don't apologize. You deserved it. You crushed me.
So polite.
Yeah, he's like the silent assassin. And it looks like he's got a great position.
Or the madman.
Yeah, the silent assassin just slash the madman. And he gets the opportunity to attack, he will. That looks like a great move, jumping in with the queen, hitting the rook in the corner. He could also maybe trade off knights first. What is he thinking? What chaos can he create? The problem is sometimes there's too many good moves in a position, and that slows you down. Like he could move his knight out the way, open up the rook's attack on the central pawn. He could trade off knights. He can bring his queen in, hit this lonely rook in the corner, stop white from castling, firstly on the king side with the bishop, but also on the queen side if the black queen lands.
Do you feel like that can slow you down when you have too many good options because you want to find the best one?
Yeah, there's this old saying that I hate in chess. If you see a good move, look for a better one.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
It's been the curse of my life. I see good moves, and then I'm like, no, let's spend 10 more minutes looking for a better one, and there's nothing better.
I remember the first time I played Blitz. I played in a tandem chess tournament with Simen Agdestein, the GM.
Legend of chess.
And that was kind of nerve-wracking because I'd never played speed chess before, and then he gave me the great advice just to don't play any moves that loses. And I was like, okay, I'll try.
That's why he's a coach of Norway's next generation. I think it's true to some extent, like tongue-in-cheek, of course, like as a bit of a joke. Like, but then
it's like, I don't know if it's loses or not.
The top players, like the rule 1 is like don't blunder like, don't lose material on the spot. Like,
Yeah.
they can play bad moves as long as it doesn't, like, they don't get knocked out immediately. There's always a chance. So I can kind of see the wisdom.
Arjun's picture has been pretty bad in this one, but he looks so relaxed.
Yeah.
Actually, it looks like he's in the shower because of that curtain behind him, but he looks like he's very, very laid back and just focused on the game and having a good time.
Yeah, wouldn't
Chat
be the
is
first.
saying the same thing as well.
Completely relaxed. Wouldn't be the first chess player to play games in the shower. I think chess players, we take our phones everywhere. We play Blitz online.
Or the bathtub.
From the bathtub. Exactly. And although black is still much better, I do like the fact that Pranesh has kind of got his king safe. It's opposite color bishops as well, so if the queens come off the board, great drawing chances, at least for Pranesh, who gets his rook active. He controls the only fully open file on the board. This could still turn. Arjun could get frustrated that he's not breaking through, despite the fact he knows he's better. It feels like this Tidal Tuesday, maybe because we're coming towards the end of the autumn split, like, the games have been slow, everyone's so nervous, everyone wants it so badly. But then they always explode under the 1 minute one minute mark.
Still a very tense game between Magnus and Lazovic. It's an even position. It's pretty even on the time as well, but it's yeah, a lot of stuff going on. It's yeah, both of them have their rooks on the board, and it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, we'll keep everyone updated of that Lazovic-Carlsen clash. For now, looking level. This one should be much better for Arjun. That is because of the one big weakness in White's camp. The only pawn on light squares. This one is defending everything right now. The White Queen and King hold it, but if Black can improve his rook, then, oh, he drops a pawn. A big blunder from Pranesh. Then we see a shake of the head, a reaction. That's a valuable pawn to lose. Now, dropping back with his own bishop, Arjun, he's got a pass pawn for life. Now the rook is going to come. This might tip White's defenses over the edge. He's been doing it very slow and steady, like the opposite of the madman. It's like the Iceman, if anything, Arjun in this game.
Who's the Maverick? Sorry, I had to do that when you mentioned the Iceman.
And yeah, this is a beautiful path for the Black King. It's the endgame now, and the King is coming. This is the beauty of opposite color bishop positions. You control one color complex, and the Black King controls the light squares. There's some pawns ready for picking. I think this is just slow and steady chess. He's done the hard work, Arjun. He knows it. He can just march his king forward. Maybe he'll want to keep this pawn safe. There we go. And this pawn is a thorn in the white side. It's going to be so dangerous for the rest of the game. One rook or the White King will have to stay guarding it. And there we go. Bring the last piece into the attack. Arjun is going to spoil his friend's tournament, his compatriot.
Yeah, I was going to ask, have they played a lot against each other?
I think in speed chess. I don't remember them playing in classical ever. They are similar generation. Arjun's a few years older, but...
Yeah, I was also thinking, since they're from the same country, but again, it's a big country, so I don't really know how...
Yeah. Big country, lots of players. And
Yeah.
Pranesh has only really become super strong in the last couple of years when Arjun's already been a kind of mainstay at the top tournaments. But here we go. It's opposite color bishops, rooks off the board. That's a bit risky from Arjun Erigaisi because they have such a drawish tendency, these opposite color bishop positions, but the eval bar says it's completely winning. Normally you need 2 pass pawns. This is 1. This will stay there forever. And it's just a question about whether the Black King can eat this pawn and create a second runner. White can stop 1 with his king, 1 with his bishop, but it's not going to be enough here. Looks like Arjun's about to win.
But Magnus Carlsen drew with black pieces against Lazovic, so he's now at 8.5.
8.5. And Pranesh is on 8.5, will stay at 8.5.
And Arjun is soon at 8.5.
Wow, it's going to be a pile-up for first place. It's all going to come down to the last round, everyone. Here, Arjun totally winning. Look at this. He pushes his pawn forward. If this pawn is captured, the other one runs through. One of these 2 black pawns is about to become a new queen. This is going to be game over. Pranesh playing.
My guess is that we're going to finish with Nakamura against Carlsen.
Wow, that would be incredible. That would be not a dream pairing for either of those 2 players. They would want to play anyone else. But here we go. It is mate in a few moves. Arjun wins. Pranesh, heartbreaking for him, but he's still got a chance. Still in the joint lead.
He looks frustrated there.
Yeah.
It was also a draw earlier I saw for Niemann. Here we see against the Parin. Artemiev wins, and that takes away from our hopes to have a Nakamura against Carlsen. Instead, likely matchups here is actually Magnus against Artemiev or Arjun. Pranesh will probably play one of the new guys on top here that he hasn't played before, so that is probably Artemiev, and I'm going to guess Magnus perhaps against an Arjun.
Wow, that would be a great game to end on. The Madman versus the Viking.
This is going to be exciting. Look at these scores here. We see Korbov who beats Vacher Lagrave. We have the new matchups. I guessed it.
Great call.
It was Arjun against Magnus coming up here, but actually Artemiev is now playing Lazovic. He was the new guy up in this situation. That means that it's actually Pranesh dropping down to the 8th bracket to play Grishuk, because he'd played all the other 8.5s except for him. So I'm guessing right now that, well, Pranesh, you see, is second in tiebreak, Lazovic ahead. This is going to be exciting, guys.
Feels like a must-win situation for everyone.
Yeah.
Like, if you draw, you drop out of the top group. It's another Sicilian. That's good news for us. And, okay, both players will definitely be in must-win mood. Magnus only plays the Sicilian when he wants to win. Arjun always plays for a win.
This feels more open than we're used to in round 11, because right now there are so many possible winners.
Yeah, I mean, the top 5, that group on 8.5, they, of course, could win. But if they all draw, then maybe someone from the lower group could jump up.
As if that ever happens.
Yeah, it's Title Tuesday. 8% draw rate. We heard it earlier.
The winner today, I can tell you this much. The winner today is going to have 9.5 points.
That tends to be the average score for a winner. And wow, Magnus taking the queens off early. I think that's aimed against the man, the opponent, not aimed at the tournament standings. This now looks very, very level. Symmetrical pawn structure almost. Queens off the board. But Arjun probably doesn't enjoy endgames as much as Magnus does. So Magnus, he's going to try and grind down his Indian opponent. This is going to be very interesting. Another strategic battle. And in the meantime, it looks very level on the other boards. Maybe slightly better for Grishuk against Pranesh, so not good news for Pranesh over there.
It's right now, we saw from the tiebreaker before this game that Lazovic has a good tiebreak situation, and also then Pranesh. So it's especially interesting to see how those two players are doing, considering who's going to take the win today.
Yeah, those two have their fates potentially in their own hands if they win. Magnus, in the meantime, is going for a small advantage. He wants the bishops. He wants a bishop pair, getting rid of the opponent's dark squared bishop, which now runs away. Will he continue attacking that piece, maybe with his pawn now? Or will he just ignore it and bring his own bishop out?
I'm always worried about Artemiev playing against Lazovic here and his time usage, because I love Vladislav Artemiev. I think I always cheer for him, but seeing no increment chess, you just worry so much about how he uses his time.
Yeah, and Artemiev, he was the world #2 blitz player. I think it was 9 years ago already, when he was super young, when he was a teenager. But like you said, that's reliant on increment. Yeah. He hasn't done amazing in Title Tuesdays because, it just trips him up.
Especially saw it at the EWC, where he just could not get the hang of that format.
Yeah, and it was also his undoing at the World Cup just a few weeks ago. He lost in Armageddon, where there was no increment against Maxime Vachier-Lagrave. So Artemiev, he was named the Iceman, literally, by his Russian teammate Grishuk. But maybe the clock will be his undoing. This one, I want to get excited, but it's such a level position.
It's cute with both the horses on the rim.
Yeah. Is there a Norwegian rhyme for that? Knights on the side.
Yeah. Let me think.
En springer på randen en springer I sanden.
Yes, that's right.
It means a knight on the edge is a knight in the sand.
Nice. A knight on the edge falls off the hedge.
There you go.
I saw a really fun game a while ago. Yeah, some years ago maybe, between Anand and Rapport. I think with all the horses on the edge of the board.
Yeah. It's another don't try it at home. Normally it's very much recommended against, but here the white knight especially has a purpose, hitting this bishop, and Magnus doesn't look happy. To save this bishop now, he's going to have to plonk it in the corner of the board where it's a clear target for the white rook. That does not look good at all. Arjun might have tricked Magnus here. I'm really surprised Magnus has allowed this, and he does put his bishop in the corner. Not the end of the world, if the white knight moves to hit the bishop can run away as well. No good squares to use for the white knight. But that's a bad bishop now.
Respect the bishop pair, or?
Yeah. Always respect the bishops. Pawn structure and bishop pair, those tend to be the two kind of foundations of strategic chess. And Arjun now, if he wants, he can repeat the position. Probably he won't, because he's the madman and wants to win, not a draw. But if he brings his knight back to the edge of the board, Magnus might be forced to go into the corner again. This is not good news for Magnus Carlsen, who's down 30 seconds. But Arjun plays for the win. He wants more. Lifts his rook up the board.
He should want more. Both of these players need a win to have to be able to take the win here today.
Yeah, it's great to see.
Yeah, a draw would be boring, I think.
If I had white, I would be tempted to make a draw, but no. Just because it's Magnus. Anyone else, I think
Don't
everyone...
say that, David. Come on. We're playing for the win here.
Yeah, Arjun's definitely playing for a win. And look at that. His bishop wasn't trapped because it could find safety behind enemy lines. That's a cool move. And Magnus shaking his head, not enjoying this at all. Now the white knight can leap into the center, far better than the edge of the board. That comes with some hits on some pawns. Wow, Magnus in a bit of trouble here, potentially, but the knight does go back to the edge of the board, trying to break through on this 7th rank. Does Magnus have to retreat, offer the trade of rooks? So close to checkmating white on the back rank here, but that square is covered by the white bishop. He does retreat with a shake of the head. Magnus is down a minute, though. Arjun, with a lot of fans in our chat.
Yeah.
Feels like he's just destined for greatness, Arjun, but he's just been really unlucky with the World Championship cycle this year.
I think he looks relaxed still now.
Yeah. The pixelated picture looks very, very relaxed. Okay, rook trade now. Arjun trying to force it on his own terms. Black's knight is a really bad piece. Needs to head back to the action. Magnus, though, I'm not used to seeing him so slow. I wonder how the internet connection is out there. Wherever in the world, Magnus is relaxing on holiday right now. The knight is on another different edge of the board, as we see a pawn trade. Feels like Magnus is just fighting for a draw, though, and that doesn't help his tournament chances. We have a result, though. Artemiev and Lazovic have drawn their game.
That is interesting. That opens up a lot of things here.
Unless Pranesh wins from a dead loss position where he's about to be crushed, it seems like, by Grishuk. It seems like the winner of this game will be the champion. If it's a draw, then who knows? Magnus has given up a pawn. He's looking for counterplay. He's going from behind now to try and win this white pawn. If he can take it, he gets his own very powerful pass pawn, but Arjun prevents that. Magnus fighting for his life here. He's struggling. Pawn down, and white's defended everything.
It does very much start to look like the winner here can take the win in this tournament right now.
Looks like Arjun. He's just a pawn up. If he wants to secure it, be super safe, he can take this knight off the board. That might also come with less risk, but less reward, since black gets the bishops, but that knight is super strong. How will Arjun weigh this up? And he does take it off. He's going to centralize his knight, hitting this one. He's going to run. He's going to come into the center. Black's bishops are just really blocked. Black's bishops are so bad. Arjun with a winning position nearly.
Maybe I was wrong. If this game ends with a draw, maybe we get a Lazovic win with 9 points here.
Wow. That would be one of the lowest winning scores of the season. That's how close it's been.
It would be amazing to have 2 matchups with 8.5s against each other in this format. To actually not get a 9.5 winner would be insane.
Exactly. Just everyone taking points off each other.
Yeah.
Knocking each other down here. And viewers at home might be wondering, why not take this knight? It's opposite color bishops. That is because white will have 1 pass pawn soon. And the black bishop is so bad, tied down to its own pawn, that Magnus doesn't want to risk it.
Actually, now Pranesh is starting to look good against Grishuk. Grishuk was vastly ahead, but he's falling behind on the clock. Only 30 seconds left, but there's not that many pieces left on the board, so it's going to be an interesting finish there.
Wow, if this is a draw, Pranesh could be the champion on his own.
Yep.
9.5.
But now Pranesh is actually better than Grishuk after having been vastly behind for a long part of that game. So, yeah, does seem like Grishuk is making life difficult for himself here.
Yeah, you talked about Artemiev's clock handling. Grishuk has been famous for it ever since he broke onto the scene. He's, yeah, Artemiev is just a mini Grishuk. Clock handling is, yeah, really living life on the edge. Magnus, though, trying to survive, trying to repeat the position. Only Arjun can win on the board. Magnus needs to turn the clock around. Oh, can he hold Magnus Carlsen? Pranesh is now totally winning in
that
his
would
game.
be such a strong title Tuesday win for Pranesh, though.
That would be incredible. Beating Magnus Carlsen, beating Grishuk, beating Nakamura. Pranesh on fire. But this one is so tense. Magnus has done everything right to defend, but he's burning time on the clock, 23 seconds, shaking his head. And sooner or later, he's going to be dropping this pawn, or maybe allowing a check. He's basically saying, oh, Magnus Carlsen, he's saying he wants pawns here. If he takes this knight, it's a dead draw, and I think the players will not fight. But now Magnus wants blood. He's turned it around. He's better for the first time in this game with the bishops. Can Magnus win out of the blue? 14 seconds, though. Can he do it?
And there may, let's just say, there may be changes in the tiebreak based on other results here. So Pranesh, he is at 9.5. He did beat Grishuk, but if Magnus wins here, he was on the spot behind him in the tiebreak session, so we'll see.
And now Magnus has what looks like almost a winning position with his king marching. There we go. He's moving his king in. He's won another pawn. It's 3 pawns versus 1. Magnus is winning on the board.
Does he have enough time?
8 seconds. It's close. We're going to hear some heavy breathing. He's going to make a new queen, though. Oh, no, he pre-moved and he lost his pawn. The queen didn't promote. He's got to win the white bishop now. Oh, he didn't take it. He's got to get that white bishop before it's too late. He wins the bishop. Will he give checkmate? He celebrated, but will it be too early? Magnus, can he deliver, mate? 2 seconds. 1 second. He gets the win, Magnus Carlsen.
That is such a dramatic finish. And I don't know what the finish is going to be at the end there. It does right now say second next to Magnus's name, which means, as of right now, and I think all the games are finishing up, this is Pranesh's win. This is he who has the tiebreak. And it's deserved because he was ahead for so long. He was the sole leader for so long. This has been an amazing, amazing tournament for him.
Yeah, he beat Magnus and he beat Hikaru. If you win against those two giants, you deserve to win Title Tuesday.
Absolutely. And, well, Pranesh here, I'm sorry, I even lost my microphone here. I got excited. Everything was happening at the same time. But it's quite the win for the young Pranesh. I'm going to put this back in. But how would you summarize that last game we saw here with Magnus, though?
Well, it was so exciting. No wonder you lost your earpiece. That was so tense.
And it's classic Magnus, right? He was on the back foot the whole game. Like slightly worse, survival mode. But then he gets a chance. Then he's slightly better. He's got the bishop pair. Then he wins a pawn. Still drawn. But then he grinds and grinds. And okay, he left it close, 2 seconds. Gave us a heart attack here almost. But Magnus in an endgame, 9 times out of 10, he gets the upper hand. And Arjun did everything he could, but just not quite close enough. Pranesh, the man of the moment, though.
It's very impressive.
But if we look a little further down the list here, we have Lasovic, we have Sarana, we have Artemiev, Pranav, Deak. That's also a surprising 7th place here. He came up quite late in this field.
Yeah, the Romanian Grandmaster doing very well. Anyone who ends on 9 points and doesn't win a tournament is slightly unlucky. So we see some big names. Hikaru down at 8 points, maybe a bit disappointing for him.
Yeah, he actually ended up beating Arjan Tari in the last game. And Arjan has had a bit of an up and down today as well. Actually, now we have the winner ready with us. Pranesh, we were just saying in the studio here, what a way to win. You beat Hikaru, you beat Magnus, and you managed to maintain your nerve at that last game. This was amazing.
Yeah, I didn't expect this. Yeah, first I thought I will play with Magnus, so he played for win, so I won. Then Hikaru, then it was like all the strong players I'm playing next. Yeah, and I lost with Arjun, but okay, still I was leading the tournament. Yeah.
But I gotta ask you though, when you see that Magnus wants to continue that queen endgame, do you feel good about that, or do you feel, oh no?
No, I also wanted to play for win, but I wanted him to play for win so that he thinks like he's playing for win. Yeah, so yeah.
So you're playing the meta.
Yeah.
How much does this win mean when you beat such strong players to take this title? Does it give confidence?
yeah, it really gives like it's like some 10% or 20% boost of confidence. Yeah, like for 1 year, how I get like I'm getting in this way. So yeah, I just I think that in Freestyle Friday also I finished ahead of Magnus and came first. So this is my next, yeah. So I'm happy.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask you about that. How does this win rank compared to your last one?
I don't know. I think this is like more stronger. You know, there it was somewhat compared to this, it was somewhat weaker. But this is so strong. I mean, everyone is playing, and yeah.
After you win this, do you start thinking about the total standings? Do you start thinking about the EWC qualifications and the race towards that?
No, I didn't really think about that, and I am just playing for fun, and I'm winning. Then I'm happy. That's it. Yeah. If it comes, yeah, it comes like that.
Maybe you never felt it at all, but we were asking in the studio, when does the nerves arrive? Is that after game 7? Is it after you beat Magnus? Is it before you play Magnus? Did you feel the nerves show up at any point today?
Yeah, I think while playing with Magnus, I felt it like I tried to control it like so hard, and like it's like going for a long time, and it was so crucial game. And after that, I finished the game, and then next 1 minute I'm getting another game with Hikaru, and then Hans, and I don't have time to take rest. But yeah, I managed to.
Pranesh, thank you so much for taking the time, and congratulations on what has been an amazing Title Tuesday for you, and congratulations on what we said was a very deserved win today.
Yeah, thank you so much.
And from Pranesh, we're going to move over to Magnus Carlsen. And Magnus, how would you summarize the day today?
I thought I started out pretty well, but I kind of ran out of steam a little bit. And then, yeah, I felt that I was pretty lucky overall to get the score that I did. But obviously, I think now it's the third time in a week that I'm second on tiebreak in these events. So it's a little bit frustrating, but that's I think overall I have no reason to be dissatisfied with that result.
But you're saying you ran out of energy. You had so many extremely tense games. I mean, the game against Hans was tense. The game at the end here against Arjun was really tense. And you had some others as well that it felt like you had a lot of work to do today.
Yeah, for sure. I think the first 4 rounds went pretty well, and yeah, after that it was very hard work, as you said. Yeah, the game against Neiman was obviously very tense, and there was absolutely no reason why I should have lost against Pranesh. So that's, you know, a little bit annoying, seeing as he won the tournament, but yeah. Overall, as you said, it was hard work, and on another day I could have easily scored like 8.5, 8 points as well. So I will gladly take the score and the podium finish.
It was actually kind of fun in the game against Pranesh. He's mentioning that it almost becomes a meta, because he said he really wanted to play for a win in the Queen Endgame, but he couldn't initiate it. He had to have you initiate it to be able to actually play for a win. How did you feel about that situation?
Yeah, I know that. First of all, he's an incredibly fun player. Like, he always plays for a win in general, and that makes for very interesting games. And yeah, I guess he held on really well, and then I just went a little bit crazy there, trying to play for a win. So I guess that suited both of us to some extent. But obviously, looking back, you know, you can afford the odd draw in this format, but after losing, you generally have to be perfect, especially since it gives a very dangerous competitor a full point.
I mean, obviously, there was a lot of tension in that Hans game. It was especially in the middle part of the game where you made a blunder, and we actually had the sound up on you in that second, and you just voiced up, "What am I doing?" But it didn't seem like he caught on as well. That was quite the moment.
Yeah. I mean, I just lost control and blundered the whole game for a second. But yeah, I mean, even after that, it was very, very far from easy. But I'm glad I managed to pull it out. But it wasn't either of our finest effort, I would say.
Well, what is the finest effort is what you've delivered in this split one here, Magnus. Congratulations on winning the first split of Title Tuesday.
Thank you. And I've had some ups and downs, but at the end of the day, I don't think anybody was close, so I'll take that.
And that is your summary of this split one?
Yeah.
That means we're looking forward to split two, Magnus. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you.
Yeah, he summarizes it quite simply here, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's always direct, straight to the point, and yeah, he looked very happy there. Like he had to work hard for it, but that's the sign of a player who feels that they've had a good workout. And I want to know, yeah, where he is in the world. It's his birthday next week. He's turning 35. I wonder how he'll be celebrating.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I know he's heading to South Africa to play soon for what is a different format with the freestyle, but we look forward to seeing him play this split two of the Title Tuesday as well, don't we, Solveig?
Of course. We always need to be excited about watching Magnus as Norwegians, right? He's the hero.
It's been such a pleasure to have you here today, Solveig. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to be replacing you a little bit because we're bringing in Arjan, who has had his ups and downs today in this tournament, but we really appreciate your insight. And I recommend everyone to check out your course. You've written one, and now you're soon finished with your second one, right?
Yes, that's right. Delivering the PGN soon. So that's going to be fun to record some brave chess.
And I saw your rating. It's really, really high, so people are loving it.
Yeah. Thank you so much, and thank you for having me.
Thank you. Yeah. We're taking in Arjan here now. David, how would you summarize this day? I'm sorry, I'm having major problems with my earpiece today, but I'm just going to roll with it.
That's cool. Not as many problems as Arian had in the streaming room, I'm sure. But we're bringing in Arian, who's had an up and down day, but some good wins. But also that game against Hikaru. If you'd won that, Arian, it would have been the perfect tournament.
I actually had a good position there, but
you got to wait for that analysis until we get the microphone here, Arjan.
We'll bring you in.
While we get him mic'd up, I just wanted to say, what did you think about what Magnus said about today?
Yeah, I think it was fair. It was very on point. Like he said, Pranesh deserved it.
Yeah.
I think Magnus was very realistic in the fact that he had some dodgy positions that he survived. Those clutch wins with like 2 seconds left against Hans, 2 seconds left against Arjun. It was like living life on the edge. But ultimately, I think he just enjoys this format, and that shone through.
It's been such a tense day today, Arjan, and you had some crazy games as well.
Yeah,
they were up and down the whole way.
Yeah, I mean, I started with 3 out of 3, and then I played Lazovic in the fourth round, who has just qualified to the Speed Chess Championship finals, so he's obviously in very good shape. But at some point, like, he had 9 seconds, and I had 14 in a Rook-end game where I thought I have like very good chances, but he suddenly like played very, very fast. He had the pawn up, so it was easier for him to make the pre-moves. It's all about like who can make the pre-moves. Yeah. And yeah, I mean honestly, like I'm probably just slower and lost that one. Then who else did I play? I played Grishuk. That was like an opening disaster. And I feel like in the end I blundered, but if I would keep the position, like he would not be as fast as Lazovic, so I had a good chance. We both had 14 seconds at some point.
You were slightly unlucky though with the draws you're talking about here, because I saw you playing Hikaru, you were playing Lazovic, you were playing.
Yeah, I mean I didn't expect to get Hikaru in the last round with 7 out of 10. It didn't used to be like that. It's changed a lot. Like I remember back in the days, like with I think I was like 29-50, and if I had like 7.5 points, I would play it down in the last round. But it just changed a lot. Like having a 3030 rating is considered to be low, I think, like among the GMs. So. Yeah, I guess I have to play more to get my rating up closer to 3,100 to play some nicer pairings.
Inflated Chess.com ratings, huh?
Yeah, I mean I'm barely keeping 3,000 on a good day. Like it's I just don't know how these players get to 3,400. It's crazy. the level has just gone up. I think
everyone has gotten a rating. Yeah, I mean these days, like FIDE Masters having 3,000 seems to be a normal thing.
Yeah.
So it's changed a lot. I felt I had some good chances in the game against Hikaru, but he had like a very nice trick somewhere in the game.
Yeah. It's been very up and down. Also in the top, it's all the way. How was your experience with playing here at the Take studio with the streaming and really going hard about that?
I had a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. I felt I was playing decent chess, but yeah, I just missed some points. We could probably have had some more points, but overall I had fun, and the studio is really nice. It's very professional setup, and hope to be back.
Yeah, you were actually in Magnus's home office today.
Yeah, now I can understand how he plays so well, although I cannot do it. So.
How was it staring at a picture of Ella while you were playing chess?
I actually was too focused on the board, so I didn't see too much of Ella during the game, especially with the time format 5 minutes. It was actually my second time playing with this 5 minutes, so I was kind of stressed about getting too low on the time.
But I'm actually curious about that. I mean, we see Hikaru do it all the time, Magnus do it all the time, like having the intense analysis, the talks while you're playing. Do you feel it hurts your game quite a bit, or is it actually a good way to just get your thought process out in the open?
I think it's pros and cons, but like having done it for years obviously helps. Like Hikaru has done this for like, I mean, he's as a profession for like 5-6 years now. So I don't think it hurts his play. Like maybe just like easier for him to talk about the variation and moves. Like he kind of agrees with himself and goes for something.
Well, it's been wonderful to follow you, Arian. It's been really fun, and it's been a great day. We've just finished now Game Week 13. We finished Split 1. Let's take a look and see how the standings have actually turned out now that we have all the results of this split in. Because we can see Magnus, he not only wins, he increases his lead. Well, Alireza we didn't see today. He was not up there fighting in this battle, but we see that Hikaru didn't take the points necessary to secure second place. So it was there for a possible challenge, but Pranesh, he works his way all the way up to 8th place with his 10 points today.
And that could be vital come the end of the season, at the end of Split 3. Next year, Magnus has already made it to the Esports World Cup, of course. Hikaru, Firouzja, Lazovic, they're all at the Speed Chess Championship. They could qualify automatically. So scrapping for the points just below. Every point matters throughout this year.
What's your goal for Split 2, Arian?
For Split, you mean the
next 13 Title Tuesdays?
Oh, from like next week?
Yes.
This was actually only my second Title Tuesday, so
first goal is to play 13 tournaments.
Yeah, I guess you could say so. I mean, I need to play more tournaments. I'm a night owl, you know, and in the US it's very early when Title Tuesday happens. So I've been missing some of them, but I'll try to play more. It's certainly fun to play.
I'll start sending a text just to make sure that you wake up and log on.
Yeah, you should call me in the morning.
Perfect. It's been such a pleasure to have you here today. It's been such a pleasure to be able to work with you, David. I'm looking forward to next week because I get to come back and start what is going to be Split 2 here of this Title Tuesday setup at Take. I'm really excited about it. It's going to be a new chance to top the standings, to really define your path to the EWC and to win the next split. Now we start with zeros again. So until then, thank you so much, and I'll see you again next Tuesday for what is the beginning of Split 2.
Oh, wow, he blunders his rook in the corner. He simply forgot his rook was attacked. 1 second. Can he hold on? No, a couple of checks, and there we go. Denis Lazovic takes the win.
And it's part of the game. This is how...
Arian loses his rook, and he's getting mated.
It's just not too slow.
Magnus has blundered a queen trade. Magnus has allowed the queens off the board. Oh no, he pre-moved, and he lost his pawn. The queen didn't promote. He's got to win the white bishop now. Oh, he didn't take it. He's got to get that white bishop before it's too late. He wins the bishop. Will he give checkmate? He celebrated, but will it be too early? Magnus, can he deliver mate? 2 seconds. 1 second. He gets the win, Magnus Carlsen.
Insane mate.